All right.
All right, you all right there, Chicken Drew?
Sing us the song. You're the Mega Man. Sing us the song tonight. And we're all got.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Is the one obvious thing.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here, and we're going to have a fun show tonight. And my goal tonight is to break Drew. Let's see if we can do it. And I forgot to do extra. Carrie, we're wearing the hats. I forgot to say extra.
Extra. Welcome to Tuesday at Splash Pages. We have an excellent guest. We also have 2 extra guest hosts. Oh, and we have some great news. And Ratatosker is celebrating. He is just getting wasted. I'm going to work on it, but dude is like raiding his Infinity Glove bar, his Infinity Gauntlet bar. So I think that what I would like to do is introduce one of our first co-hosts tonight, if I'm allowed, because I'm not on the Owlite Network. I can say that this man is just amazing. He is an author. He is a podcaster. He is an artist. He is a musician. He is our very own Mr. Steve Van Samson.
Woohoo!
Oh, hey guys. Sorry, didn't see you there. How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah. No, good. I'm gonna keep drinking.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Carrie, why don't you introduce our other guest host too?
Yeah.
Our other guest host has his own show as well as his own network, Brill Pro. You can see him doing Wrestling Prime and Channel X, as well as some reviews and things of different products that he goes through. Please welcome Mr. Tom Dog.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am here, debut, so I hope I don't slip on any banana peels, but you know what? I did come unprepared, but I didn't forget. I got my own. Whoops.
Ah, there we go.
Perfect.
Flat cap. Got my own flat cap.
Well, I love the shirt too.
Thank you.
Be kind. Read videos all the time. Blam.
It still fits. And Leo, real quickly before we go to Drew, somebody wanted to say hi. Hey, how are you? I understand that we are both monkeys. We are both monkeys. It's like you're the monkey behind the keyboard, and I am the monkey behind the asshole. That's right. I called you an asshole. Okay.
Love it, love it, love it. We are gonna drive Drew up.
I now there's two
There'll
of
be a
them.
whole lot of monkey business.
Hold on. Tom, congratulations. You're getting the earliest one we've done so far. Get out. All right, everybody. As you can tell, I decided to be a jerk because panda. And now I've also decided I'm going to write a Billy Joel Mega Man parody called the Mega Man. So stay tuned for that geniusness.
Is that going to be a parody of obviously Uptown Girl?
Yes. It's gonna, Steve. If you keep this up, you're gonna give me a heart attack. Okay. And you ought to know by now.
Good to know. I oughta.
Indeed.
So what weapon does he have?
Clearly it's Popeye, and if you don't stop, you're gonna die with spinach somewhere in you.
Oh, I was thinking Mars Attacks.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking beehives. Why am I thinking beehives?
Well, it's your writer.
Mega Man, reference.
Yeah, but
trying to keep.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. Steve, it's always good to have you back. Tom, don't fuck this up.
I will try not to.
I know you're doing good. So again, everybody, our great guest, the writer Ian Flynn, is going to be joining us a little later. So we're going to flip our usual script, and we're going to get started with the news first. Carrie's got some great Kickstarters lined up, ready to go. We're going to watch that squirrel and possibly that monkey get totally wasted and do some sort of Clash of the Titans fuckery, Muppet style. And Leo's going to try to break me. So this is going to be a good show. So
it's hat
night.
Not
why I will.
Oh boy. Oh.
It's a promise. It's a promise.
If anyone would like to add supplementary lyrics to the new song, which is Chicken Drew, what's the matter with you? You don't act like the other chickens do. He wears a disguise to look like a panda, guys, but he's not a man, he's a chicken Drew.
Okay.
Perfect. You look so handsome like that now. What has changed?
Skadoosh. All right. All right, you maniacs. Leo, do you want to set us off?
Yeah, we'll kick it off with very.
Well, all right, Leo, this is you, buddy. It's time to get timeless.
I'm doing. Oh shit.
All right.
Okay.
I even put them in order.
You did, and I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. Okay, so the amazing Alex Ross is bringing back his popular timeless variant covers. And do you know why they're called timeless? Because Alex Ross started painting them when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were still on speaking terms.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Serious folks, I tell you, the Hulk gets no respect. His pants rip and everybody's impressed. My pants rip and I get banned from Target.
See, I just believed you.
Where?
Because I'm like, how old is Alex Ross though? I guess I don't know.
Oh my god, both. Oh god, Leo, just keep telling the story. What's happening in May?
Okay. I had another one, but I'll save it.
We'll save it.
Okay, so the Timeless, they're making a comeback this May, and it's all new collection of character portraits. So if you're not familiar with his Timeless series, Ross's signature painted artwork showcasing Marvel characters in their most iconic and classic forms. And they're in action scenes or storytelling moments. They're not in any action scenes or storytelling moments. They're stunning portrait-style illustrations that capture the essence of each character in Ross's legendary realistic style. So there's a new batch of covers featuring even more Marvel heroes and villains, including Moon Knight, Luke Cage, Miss Marvel, and a bunch of others. And Ross has shared the line of timeless covers is a great way to do focused portraits of the individual heroes and villains that define the universe he loves. So coming in May, on May 7th, is going to be West Coast Avengers. And then we're going to get Daredevil 21.
Nice.
And then X-Men 16. And then coming May 14th, this is going to be Thunderbolts Doomstrike number 4. Then One World Under Doom number 4. And then Immortal Thor number 23. And then coming May 21st, we get the Vision and Scarlet Witch number 1. Superior Avengers number 2. And then we get Power Man Timeless number 4.
Wow.
Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu number 8.
Nice.
Incredible Hulk number 25. Then Amazing Spider-Man number 4. Fantastic Four number 32. And then Iron Man number 8. And then the last batch is going to be on sale May 28th. And it's going to be Deadpool Wolverine number 5. And then Avengers 26.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I absolutely love Alex Ross art. So I know I'm definitely going to be picking up some of these. So definitely go to your LCS and get them on your pull list.
Nice. Wonderful. Yeah. Nicely done. We won't ask you to do that for a while now. Don't worry.
I don't mind. I like doing it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did Timeless. That's very
okay.
That's pretty fun.
All right.
Alex Ross is only 55, by the way. Just because you were wondering.
Not old enough. Damn it.
Yeah. All right. Leo, do the thing.
I just read the latest Fantastic Four featuring the Invisible Woman. I don't see the Invisible Woman.
No. What team is that?
The Fantastic Four.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. I seem to recall their origin. 4 friends, right?
There's a stolen spaceship involved.
There's never cosmic rays.
I should have never brought that up.
Drew's News. Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains plot under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
Drew's Comic News with a hat. Stick around.
And you really fucked up my groove there, Drew.
Leo, I mean, I got your back on destroying Drew tonight, but you can't bring up Fantastic Four as part of it because that is the cue to destroy you. So
that's true.
Yes, I'm sorry. You chose the form of your destructor, and it had cosmic rays. All right.
Bad shielding.
I'll start. Thank you. Yes, very bad shielding. Some would say that would be worthy of doom. So we'll start. All the jokes aside, we'll start our news with the latest of the Ultimate Universe, and this one I'm absolutely excited about because Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion will have the Ultimate storyteller Dennis Camp and Miles Morales storyteller Cody Ziegler and Jonah Scarf, who did the Ultimate Universe 1 year in one shot, joining together for a miniseries where we see one of the original Ultimate Universe inhabitants going for his first time into the new Ultimate Universe, as we know, which was created by the maker, aka the original Ultimate. Reed Richards gone absolutely batshit. If we're paying attention, Ultimate Invasion, the maker left a key to the new Ultimate Universe with Miles before he went to do his thing. And of course, Miles ends up in the new Ultimate Universe because his sister found the key. and use it to travel there. So he's up to save her. But the Ultimate Universe, of course, is not a safe place for most heroes, much less a Spider-Man. So when the Ultimate Universe of this version of the Spot attacks, Miles will have to team up with our all-new Peter Parker, and that's just the start of his journey across this Ultimate Universe, aka Earth 6160. So check that out. And plus, there's a gorgeous cover by Ultimate Spider-Man co-creator artist Sarah Pichelli. That's on sale June 4th. And they're definitely talking about a lot of things going on. I mean, Dennis Camp is doing great things with the Ultimate Universe. So he's not just talking about exploring more parts of the universe that's only still in its infancy, but also developing characters that he's introduced in the Ultimates, which is just a phenomenal series. And then, Ziegler is doing some great stuff with Miles Morales right now, especially since Miles is no longer a vampire. So that's great. A lot going on. This is going to be awesome. I'm super pumped. And viva la Ultimate Universe.
Awesome. Tom or Steve, are either of you reading the new Ultimates?
I am. Go ahead, Tom. No, go ahead.
All right. I used to read the Ultimates, but I haven't read them in so long though.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
I got you, buddy.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. I'll break you in. Steve?
So long answer. No.
God, that was dramatic as hell, Steve. I hung on to every syllable.
I will say I don't know. I'm not digging this Wolverine costume. I've seen him around the interwebs. I can't
the Winter Soldier Wolverine?
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's a no from me, Bob.
Just based on the design of one character?
All I'm saying is just the design.
Okay.
Just the costume, I'm saying.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a no from me, Bob. But
I'll send you a link for Ultimate Spider-Man. That alone is worth the price of admission, my man.
Sure it is.
Yeah. No,
is the admission is it comped?
Yes.
Is the admission comped?
Yes.
It's gonna be worth it.
Yes. It'll be worth it.
Oh, good.
But yes. All right. So like I said, that's out in June. Super pumped. Can't wait. Let's see what's next. What is next?
I believe I'm next.
Oh my God, Lee. Yes.
I
You
know.
are. Go for it.
I know. Okay.
Oh my
Are you
God.
sure about that?
Look at that 90s.
So
yeah.
It's got to be Madureira, right?
No, actually, that's not.
No, that's
Wow.
Care Andrews.
Oh,
Mhm.
they're clearly going for that though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. So Spidey and Wolvie are teaming up, and as you know, one goes thwip, the other goes snicked, and only if Nightcrawler joined, they could have their own breakfast cereal, thwip snick
Yes. Oh man, I love that. It's my favorite.
And you can find it on the shelves from your favorite grocer between Doom Loops and Infinity Pebbles. And then for the grown-ups, so we can get Stan Lee's Nuts Said Nuts and Honey. No.
Mhm.
Okay, so all seriously, so some exciting team
or not.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, so some exciting news is dropping. Spider-Man and Wolverine are joining forces once again in a brand new ongoing series. It's simply titled Spider-Man and Wolverine, and this comes out May 7th. So the new series comes from writer Mark Guggenheim, and you know him from screenwriter for TV and film, and fan favorite artist Care Andrews. And the story brings together these two different heroes, a wisecracking web slinger and a gruff Canadian mutant, to tackle a mystery that's connected to both their pasts. Marvel is promising a nonstop thrill ride for big villains, bigger threats, and even bigger surprises. And Peter Parker and Logan find themselves facing challenges too massive for just one hero. So Guggenheim seems really excited about the project. He says Spider-Man and Wolverine are probably my two favorite Marvel characters to write and among my favorites in all comics. He's promising to deliver a comic book blockbuster every month with action that never stops. And artist Kara Andrew mentioned he's drawing inspiration from the 80s and 90s, as we can totally see from this cover. And from a time many of us first fell in love with these characters, you know, Todd McFarlane was a big part of that in like the 90s. So the first issue is going to have several awesome variant covers. So we are going to get, let me pull these up here. So obviously the standard one is going to be Kara Andrews.
Dude,
And,
Spidey is ripped. Like those thighs. Jesus.
And
He
Wolverine
did not
has,
miss
like, a
leg
little,
day.
No.
Oh, I like
Then
this one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a Bagley. That's a 100% a Bagley cover.
Yep. Totally.
Oh,
And then the next one is going to be Clayton Crane.
Nice. That looks beautiful.
was the last one actually Bagley?
Yep.
Yes, it
Mark
was.
Bagley.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get more 90s than that.
No.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah. Clayton Crane. And then David Marquez.
wow.
Love this
David,
pose.
David does such good work.
I see a little Spider-Man on a wall. Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Can you sell it? Can you say Excelsior? Thunderbolts are a team. They're gonna get a movie. That's all I got. I don't know.
Wolverine.
Will there be Deadpool?
Wolverino. Wolverino.
Wolverino.
Wolverino's name.
Wendigo.
His name is Logan. I don't know.
See, Carrie, this reminds me of the time that we really need to do the Muppet Show intro for the
I wrote it like a year ago, so it's just waiting for us to do it. It's been sitting there. And so is Smells Like Splash Pages. That's when we need to get a musician to help us with, so that we can actually make it sound somewhat decent.
Oh, I don't want to smell splash pages, guys.
Oh boy, you know, yeah, you know.
Oh, that I don't know if I should mention this.
Please don't.
Of course you should.
No, just go to the next
Leo.
story. No.
Oh
Go to the
my
next story. No, go to the next story. We don't have the time.
Fine.
Save your jokes for after the hours.
It wasn't a joke. It was just a story from the ages.
Gary, this is you.
All right. So on June 25th, Dark Horse is releasing Tramps of the Apocalypse, a dystopic satirical 3-issue series written and illustrated by Alice Darrow, colored by Hugo Blanc, and lettered by Frank Svetovic. I had it right. Svetovic. You might recognize Darrow from Futurama and Disenchanted, Blanc from Carlisle School for Kings, and Svetovic from Psycho Squad and Behemoth. In this series, the Earth has been reduced to a desolate no man's land ruled by men, with Quest Ragnar as the king of males. The year is 2094, the women have all been enslaved, and all hope rests on 3 super bimbos, Baby, Belladon, and Babette. These gals are bloodthirsty and vicious, and they refuse to be taken down no matter who's hunting them. If you're a fan of Kali, Bitch Planet, or Grindhouse, this is going to be right up your alley. It is available for pre-order now. And in case you're wondering, Alice is the daughter of Shaolin cowboy artist Jeff Darrow, but has been carving her own place in the industry in pieces such as If You Find This, I'm Already Dead #3, From the World of Minor Threats, Barfly #2, and Paranoid Gardens #5.
Nice.
So yeah, June
That's
25th, this will be out on shelves.
That's
More
awesome.
women in comics. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, well, Carrie's covering that. This beautifully weird Mad Max level shit. Like Carrie. So
You know,
yeah,
I'm Mad Max.
Called it.
we knew it. We knew it. All right. What's next?
No, I'm just the weird. Is it
Oh, yeah.
weird? Or I get it.
Fair enough. All right. So, as we've seen, Eddie Gathgi is going to be featuring as Mr. Terrific in the upcoming Superman movie. But of course, it's no surprise DC is turning back its attention to the long-running character and consistent chairman of the JSA with a new series. So, Mr. Terrific Year One will be a 6-issue limited series from writer Al Letson, drawn by our former guest, Valentine Delandro, with additional work by Edwin Galmon, colorist Marissa Luis, and letterer Lucas Gattoni. Now, while some of the series is going to take place in the present, a good majority of it will be turning the clock back to the beginning of Michael Holt's career as the hero, and of course his tragic origin story, which will be revisited and expanded according to DC. So, for those who don't know, the synopsis is he was a genius-level inventor, Olympic champion, destined for greatness, but then that all changed when his wife Paula and their unborn son were killed in a car accident. Their dreams of using their technology to help others, but then after that, Michael retreats from society. He sells his company to Athena Prescott, who's a mysterious and craven tech billionaire, surrendering his dreams to basically sets off an explosive chain of events that takes him from the depths of despair to the heights of heroism as Mr. Terrific, who of course was a legacy hero. The original Mr. Terrific was a member of the original JSA, whose name unfortunately escapes me, but I do know that there were times he did actually meet his predecessor. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like this is just a dream team of collaborators, and you can see now you get the covers of the first issue alone. So the first issue there is by Valentine Delandro. Then we have the other variants by
I only have the one image.
oh, okay.
I didn't get a link to anywhere with
That's fine.
variants. Sorry.
But there's other variants by Hoichi Anderson, the great Evan Doc Shaner, and the always amazing Mitch Gerards. So Mr. Terrific Year One will be published by DC on May 28th. So
Is that before or after the movie?
it's I think it's before.
Before.
Yeah. I'm not exactly 100% sure when Superman's coming out, but yeah, but you guys know how this goes. You know, the characters are going to be featured heavily in the movie. They want to make sure that there's something to tie in to kind of piggyback off of that popularity.
Well, also for people that aren't familiar with Mr. Terrific, to get to know him, since it looks like he's going to be featured quite a bit in the movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and July is the new Superman movie.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So okay, cool.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I am in like Flynn. I really.
All right. Well,
I can't wait.
Well, speaking of something I know, Leo.
Hold on, we're having conversation here. Steve, why are you excited for Superman?
I mean, I think it looks awesome. I am beyond ready for a different tone, and I think Snyder got it totally wrong, and I wasn't a fan of any of those movies, and I'm in the camp of I love Cavill. I think he could have been a great Superman. I didn't think they just didn't let him, and it's a tragedy, but I'm happy to move on, and I think everything I've seen for the new movie looks great. I think the trailer looks freaking awesome. It looks as weird as I want it to be, unapologetically weird, and I think the same thing for the Fantastic Four as well. I think it's so what I want from both. So, but I'm not like an old school Superman fan either. Like my Superman, I say this all the time, is the cartoon, the 90s cartoon with Tim Daly. Tim Daly's my Superman. Like, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
I love that show so much. It is so good. I mean, Batman the Animated Series gets all the credit and deserves all the credit. However, the Superman show is freaking excellent. It's so forgotten amongst those. It's like everybody's like, oh yeah, Batman, BTAS, and then you're like, okay, Justice League Unlimited, Justice League, Batman Beyond, and it's almost like people just forget like Superman the Animated Series was a thing, and it's like it's an amazing show, so good, so absolutely awesome. So this to me looks the closest to that. So I mean, we can have different flavors and just disagree, and that's fine. I like that flavor, so I'm really excited for it.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, I totally agree. It's Christopher Reeve was my Superman growing up. And yeah, just the animated series, I totally agree. That was so good. Are you watching any of the other DCU items? Did you watch
I'll
Creature
watch it.
Commandos?
Yeah, I loved Creature Commandos. I'm a monster kid. I'm horror guy. Like I mean, The Bride was the coolest thing ever. I'm waiting for a bride I can buy the figure of. I mean, like, I don't know if it's been announced yet or whatever. I freaking loved her. Bride of Frankenstein's like one of my favorite movies. I mean, like, but yeah, I had an awesome time with that show. I thought it was really fun, and I'm looking forward to more Rick Flag Sr. as played by Frank Grillo, not Griot, even though I want it to be Griot. It's not, though. I guess people can decide how they want their own names to be pronounced, I suppose. Anyway,
And,
but yeah.
What about the My Adventures of Superman, the new
So
one?
I didn't watch that at all. I am honestly the most excited for Swamp Thing.
Okay.
And Swamp Thing, I believe they said it's going to be who's directing Swamp Thing. It's somebody awesome. It's somebody awesome. I know it's somebody awesome. Is doing Swamp Thing, and they said they want it to be they want it to function as a standalone horror film, and they're not going to go light on the horror. And my hope is that they lean. What's it? Who is it?
James Mangold.
Oh, James Mangold! Freaking awesome! Oh man, I loved the Wolverine. The Wolverine kicked ass. He did that, right? He did, right? Did he do Logan as well, or is it just the Wolverine?
He did.
So
Logan,
he did Logan.
He also
Okay.
did the Dial of Destiny as well. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that one wasn't quite as good as the other two, but I still like Dial of Destiny. But whatever, it's cheesy fun. But yeah. I mean, like Swamp Thing is big time awesome, and I'm hungry for horror in superheroes. I love Werewolf by Night. I wish Marvel would lean into the horror more. I did really like the Agatha show quite a bit, and there was like a little bit of horror stuff in there, but I just would love full horror, and I feel like Swamp Thing is the first time. Well, I think Werewolf by Night was pretty much on that line, but it was still kind of like fun, campy, almost horror comedy sort of. I hope that, which I adore and I love. I wish they had done a full feature or at least a sequel of that short. But anyway, oh my God, do like a horror movie with Swamp Thing, and that's what he wants to do. So I don't know where he's going to pull from, if he's going to do, go Alan Moore, which is I think what he should do and what most people would want. But I don't care if they go back to the original Bernie Wrightson stuff and it was just silly Monster of the Week stuff. I mean, just give me something. He can fight Frankenstein if he wants. Just like be scary about it. There's so much fun stuff to pull from. I love that character. Really cool.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I think Clayface is going to be horror as well.
Right. That came out of absolute nowhere. The thing that gives me pause with that is that was all Mike Flanagan's thing. He's like, I kind of want to do a Clayface movie. And they're like, you're Mike Flanagan. You want to do Clayface? You get to do Clayface. And he's like, oh, cool. I guess I'm doing Clayface. And then he's like, no, I actually can't. So they said on that press release where they were talking about it and they were given all the details that they gave, they said, very small at the bottom, Mike Flanagan is unable to direct. So I don't know who will be taking that, but I hope they do something that's awesome and more in line with Penguin than Craven.
Totally.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Batman items,
take it away now.
Yeah. Okay. I am extremely excited for this. So the blue suit is back. And so Drew, I need to ask you, should we call him the Navy Knight or maybe the Cobalt Cape Crusader?
God, just do the damn story.
I'm sorry. There's nothing humorous about it. Okay, so DC dropped a huge bombshell. The announcement is a brand new Batman #1 coming in September, and it has an incredible creative team. So it's going to be writer Matt Fraction, known for his award-winning work on Hawkeye, Sex Criminals, Invincible Iron Man, and he's teaming up with the amazing George Jimenez, which has been doing Batman for a while now, absolutely killing it. And unlike other comics, Spider-Man, where they're getting a #1 every 6 months, this is actually Batman's 4th time that the main title has been renumbered within the 85-year history. So the creative team will include colorist Tomeo Mori and letterer Clayton Cowell. And the new series brings some exciting changes to the Dark Knight. So most notably, the return of the classic blue and gray costume. And I think I got it. Yeah.
Whoa.
That looks awesome.
Whoa. So even the bat is blue. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Neil Adams is my fave. And I think he had the black bat.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a new Batmobile and a fresh visual take on Gotham City. So Fraction mentioned that their run features connected but self-contained stories, saying that every issue could be a new adventure, a new style, and a new challenge. He also added that we've got a new Batmobile, we've got the new costume, and we have new characters. And we also have the old ones too, good and bad. All the stuff that makes Batman the coolest character in comics. Jimenez sounds equally excited, explaining he's aiming for a slight pop influence, something that subtly nods to the classic stories while keeping the dark and ominous feel of contemporary Batman. And I mean, this is going to be...
it. I really dig it. Wow, that costume looks so good. I miss the blue and gray. I like the blue and gray a lot. I really think Neil Adams drew him the best. I just looked it up. He had the black bat on a yellow. He had the yellow oval. Yep. But yeah, that's to me the classic blue. I mean, this looks a little bit different color, but like he looks really cool. Almost got like a Mignola thing going on where they're really playing with the shadow. They're like pure black,
Totally. No, yeah.
Or like a little bit of Tim's story in there too, as far as the values anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
No. Is it who did Long Halloween? Tim Sale or Tim Story? I always screwed it. Tim Sale is who I mean.
Yeah, the late great Tim Sale. I always see this and I always think of my first real reintroduction, which was during Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb's Hush.
Sure, yeah. Yes. Oh my God, I love it. Jim Lee drew it's one of those things like Jim Lee draws anybody. It's like the best version of that character essentially. I mean, I remember there's a page in Hush when the Huntress shows up and you see her in full, and I'm like, this is like me seeing a comic book drawing for the first time. I like ever. Like this is the greatest thing I've ever set my eyes on is his Huntress. In Hush. Oh my God, it's freaking can't take anything away from that guy.
Yeah, I read that for the first time like just a month or two ago. It was just one of those, on the radar now. Okay, got to read it. Whoa.
It's so fun. It's so fun because like Hush plays out like it's just they're parading out all the characters like Huntress and kind of just giving everybody a page or two, and that type of thing is fun and it's fan servicey and it doesn't always end up being the best story wise, but there is a good mystery in Hush. So I think that it is a solid book. Maybe not one of the best ever, but I think Jim Lee's drawings make it better than it would have been. But I enjoy it a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jeff Loeb said originally Tim was supposed to do it because it was continuing their collaboration, what they saw, Haunted Night, Long Halloween, Dark Victory, but he wasn't able to commit. So like, okay, well, who can we get? Jim Lee. So it's kind of essentially continuing that style because, Jeff really likes the use of boxes to convey inner dialogue, which it does work, but he's also very good at those long mysteries. And I mean, considering the story, which had a lot of references to Long Halloween stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fantastic. I mean, you had the fight with Superman, you had him revealing his identity to Catwoman, you had the introduction of Hush. You know, it was a big story that is still, for the most part, kind of intact, which is very rare.
Did you guys do you have any opinions on the animated version that they did?
I don't want to talk about it. It was fine. I had some thoughts. I have real reservations about when I feel like they always do have adaptations. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like they change things. And I'm like, why? They're like, oh, we're keeping in line with our universe. I'm like, but
I
why?
think it's a really good like point counterpoint, you know, opinion. Which camp are you in? If something is adapted that is a mystery that everybody knows the answer to now, is it worth just doing the same thing, or is it worth subverting expectations a little bit and being like, all right, so the people who are going the whole time, like, I know who Hush is, and now they're wrong.
Well,
it's interesting. Like either, you know, you can be on either side of that, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I remember when Leah, when we read The Long Halloween and then we read the book. I mean, The Long Halloween is one of my favorite Batman comics ever. But I just really was not the greatest fan of the adaptation. I didn't like what they changed a lot about it. But
I didn't love either movie adaptation, to be honest, either. But
it could have been worse. They could have shoved a Batgirl sex scene in there, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good trip down nostalgia lane, guys.
So Tom Dog, what do you think? What do you think about adaptations?
That Batman suit, the blue and gray color scheme, is one of my favorite, and was my first. That color there is my first introduction to the Batman comic books, and so much, in fact, fun fact, that's how it inspired me to do the logo of my Brill Pro logo.
Nice.
So there's your origin for the Brill Pro logo.
Wonderful. And, thank you.
Yes. And that has always been my favorite color. Those two favorite colors.
Well,
awesome.
This is coming out in September, and I mean, you can easily tell it's going to be a multiple printing kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is going to deserve, you know, another 41 copy. You know.
Cool. You enjoy taking another mortgage out on your house for that one, buddy.
Excuse me, I would just like one long box of the covers, please. Thank you.
For those of you not familiar with the joke, Steve and Tom Dog, when it came out originally, I bought 41 copies of X-Men #1.
Nice.
So we have a question.
41.
Leo, who is your favorite Bat artist? Yes, 41.
I actually know that one. Leo, can I answer? I think I know that one.
Yeah.
Lee Bermejo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Closely by Jimenez and Dan Mora. I mean,
that's your trifecta.
Dan Mora.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Mora. Yeah. Dan Mora.
Well, I know we have 13 minutes left to cover the rest of the stories, and my apologies for storytelling, but
yeah.
All right, so announced that Comics Pro sometime later this year, has not quite yet been decided. Brad Meltzer, Jeff Johns, and Gene Ha will be launching the series that I have personally been waiting for, from the Unnamed Universe, First Ghost. This is going to be set in the White House, and the latest president of the United States and his young son discover more than they were expecting when they move into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Johnson Meltzer have had this in the works for years now. So Meltzer, who's previously worked with Ha on JLA number 11, currently also has a book on the bestseller list, The JFK Conspiracy, The Secret Plot to Kill Kennedy. So we have some history going into this, a bunch of studies. The people at Ghost Machine are very smart about everything that they've brought us so far, bringing up like real historical, like when they did Johnny Appleseed with Redcoat, you know, they're bringing in real stuff that happened. So this should be a lot of fun, and having somebody who's writing political and historical type of things is going to just spice us up to be perfect. This cover, however, goes for further excitement, we are going to get a new Hyde Street resident in issue 5, Sisterhood. Writer Mayal Shute and artist Layla Lays, who is now exclusive to Ghost Machine, are giving Sisterhood her own release in a special Sisterhood, a Hyde Street story. This is going to be a follow-up on their work. It happened on Hyde Street Devour, which was awesome. It was the one about the diet pills, the parasite things. If you haven't, if you forget, read it. It's very good. But this is going to bring us a friendship of two girls that's been long lasting, and then during a sorority hazing, one of them drowns. But as we all should know now, that doesn't necessarily mean the end on Hyde Street. And Sisterhood will be being released some point in April. And hot damn, I love some Ghost Machine. And I'm wearing my Hyde Street shirt for support of this. You know, I'm all excited. So go there and get some. Go there. Go to your LCS. Ask for this to be set aside for you. Get ready for first ghost. It is going to be so much fun. I was wondering what the first ghost was. Why is it the first ghost? Oh, because instead of it being the first lady or the first dog, it is the first ghost.
Crazy.
So yeah.
I read she has a. I read Sisterhood has a special power: traveling pants.
Funny you should say that.
Are they
coming up in the show?
Are they a pair of pale green pants with nobody inside them?
Yep.
Anybody?
Nope.
Crickets?
No.
Cool.
No.
Cool.
Next, please.
Trevor enjoyed it.
Indeed. All right. So, speaking of things that are making a grand comeback, Umbrella Academy, the cult fan favorite from Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba, is back for its first full series in 6 years. So we have Umbrella Academy Plan B. It's the fourth full run of the hit book, and it's going to reunite Way and Ba. Also with Ba illustrating the comic, colored by Dave Stewart and Nate Vikos. So this is following Volume 3, which saw the release of the city's greatest foes and the chaos that followed in Hotel Oblivion. They're going to fear the Umbrella Academy faces their most fearsome challenge yet. Their other brothers and sisters, known as the Sparrows, who share a different connection to their adopted parents, Sir Reginald Hargreaves and Mom. No one knows how to hurt each other more than family, and this powerful, ruthless brood will spare no brutality in favor of their sole objective, control, and the obedient glare that comes with it. The first issue is a ton of variants, which Leo is showing. So we already saw Gabriel Ba, Duncan Fegredo, who did Hellboy, Mike Del Mundo, who's done a lot of great Marvel work, Fabio Moon, who's a wonderful collaborator with Gabriel Ba, David Aja, who worked with Matt Fraction on Hawkeye, Jill Thompson, who Scary Godmother, Dustin Nguyen, who Descender, among other things, and Tula Late, who most recently, if I'm correct, wrote on Eisner for some of her horror work. So
Somna.
pretty what?
For Somna over at Distillery.
Thank you for Somna. So again, each chapter just I love this book. It's just a weird, funny, odd ride, and the series did a great job. But essentially, what both Ba and Way were trying to do was that this was announced way back in 2020, but of course, a lot of stuff got thrown away by the pandemic. So there's definitely going to be some similarities to the third season of the TV show, but it won't be a retreat. So there's definitely some interesting parallels there. But so Umbrella Academy Plan B published Dark Horse Comics in June 11th. So
awesome.
Yeah. So
I still need to watch the last season.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. But Carrie, boy, I know you can't wait for this one.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have been losing it since I heard about this project first came out. And finally, on May 14th, we are being blessed by a giant-sized 60-page first issue of the new project by James Tynion IV and Michael Walsh. Break out your fucking black nail polish. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so formerly known as Project Exquisite, it has now been released as this is going to be Exquisite Corpses. It is a fast-paced, hardcore horror comic about extreme blood sports set in a small town. In this universe, the super wealthy sponsor 12 unique and ferocious killers and then turn them loose on Oak Valley, Maine to eradicate each other. There will, of course, be some expected collateral damage on the side. Now, Tynion and Walsh wrote a full Bible covering the town, its inhabitants, the killers, the rules of the game, and everything else that these two geniuses could think of. The first season is going to be covered in 13 issues. On top of these rulers of the Wicked Pen, they've built a writing team that they're calling their Corpse Crew. The first members of this include Jordi Belair, Pornsak Pichachote, Che Grayson, and Tyler Boss. That got the party rolling, and these incredible writers all met up. They had a summit to churn out the game and to see who would live and who would die. So then, after that, they decided to get a bit more talent on the artist team. So they added Adam Gorham, Claire Rowe, Gavin Fullerton, Mariana Ignazi, Valentin Delandro, and Becca Carey doing the lettering. So, on top of this, as Michael Walsh has spent a lot of time contributing to the world of Magic the Gathering over the years and has a real mind for tabletop games, Tynion has been dropping hints about a game that was put together already for the creators and could be potentially released to the fans. They sat down. Michael Walsh was just like, hey, this would be great. Why don't we try this out? This is how a role-playing game or a card TTRPG would work in this world. So let me just write on these cards and hand them out to everybody. And they played it. And so this might be coming out to us. And on top of that, they're doing a year-long national signing tour, Corpse Tour 25. They will be stopping at a different store somewhere across the nation each time a new issue is released. Per James on his Substack, I write the first issue and Walsh draws it. From there, the two of us create the framing sequence of each issue, following the twisted families who put this game in motion, acting as both the games maker and groundskeeper, whose design in the comic might be familiar to anybody who knows the two of us in real life. The writers and artists we've recruited to tell the story of the people in Oak Valley trying to survive the presence of these horrific killers. Then Walsh and I will tell the entirety of the epic conclusion over the last few issues of this first story cycle. It's an ambitious project, but it's been so damn exciting to be a part of and see it all come together. It is the most fun I've ever had in comics. Going through the covers real quick, there are some that have not been released yet. This here is the first cover. It is by Michael Walsh, featuring the Fox Mask Killer. The next one we have is cover C, and this is by James Stocco, featuring the Lone Gunman. Next, we have cover F, and that is by Alex Ekman-Lawn, and that is featuring Rascal Randy. The next is cover G by Nimit Malavia, featuring Slater. And the final cover that's been released so far is cover H by Jay Lee, once again featuring the Fox Mask Killer. Guys, I am losing it. Like, when I saw that this was up and it was just like, I finally know what's going on with that. I have been waiting so long. I'm just excited. Oh, I don't care if there's a talking monkey or not. Tom Dog's got that covered.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Hey,
good.
pile. And get ready, the energy's going to stay because, oh boy, are we going to have some fun soon. But before we go into that, what do you guys think of this? Like, just a crew of amazing comic creators coming together and putting all of their oomph into this with so many extras. It just keeps going.
Carrie, I feel like you said it all, so I'm like, yeah, I'm with it. I'm in.
I think it's just awesome that we're getting more and more, indie comics becoming a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That first picture with with the lady in the fox mask, the first one. Yeah, they're right there. I'm sensing a persona
Big
vibe to
time.
that.
Big time. Looks exactly like Persona.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. But no, I mean, listen, there's so much talent behind this. This is just going to be such a hit. And I mean, come on, Tynion is a master of what he's doing. He's on some James Gunn level. Whatever he's doing, I'm like, I'm in. You know?
Yeah.
And I remember
You're
him
like,
back
God
when he
damn it,
first,
I'm in.
yeah, because I'm sorry, I remember
Shut
when
up
he
and give me
first
all your
started.
money.
Slap my face, call me Sally, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah. Because I remember when he first started off doing like backups in the New 52 Batman. You know, that's how he started, and here he is. So, like, you know, again,
Pretty cool.
let's go, man. But
Yeah,
okay,
and April 8th, we're gonna have Michael Walsh on, so we'll be able to it'll be right as it's releasing.
yep. So we'll be able to talk to him about that. But Carrie, it is also your turn to tell us some more cool things because it's Carrie's crowdfunding right now, or as we like to call it, shut up and take this money.
Now,
Yes.
just a heads up, we are at 9. So if Ian pops on before you're done, Carrie, then we can finish up after. Is that that's what I'm thinking?
Yeah, that's great. So, well, how about the first thing I need to do is we'll see if he shows up during this point in time. There had been a mix-up. Go take that all down. I'm going to lead you through everything that we're doing right now. We aren't looking at anything.
Okay. Okay.
I'll lead you through it. I got all the things, but first, there was a mix-up when they sent me my Little Nemo Kickstarter stuff, and I just got in the mail this week the tarot cards that were supposed to come along with it. And this was a very limited edition thing of, I'm trying to not destroy the box here. I should have opened this before the show. I didn't realize the plastic would be such a problem, and I want to try to give us time for Ian, so maybe that'll help. But they were a limited edition thing with the Kickstarter, and I really wanted to get the tarot cards because I love tarot cards, and I'm going to end up ripping the shit out of this. There we go. You have to find that seam, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
It's a sweet science.
Yes.
yeah,
It's like boxing.
this is
Indeed.
the box.
Cool.
Yeah. And
See, it is boxing. It's just the other kind of boxing.
Yeah.
it's unboxed. Oh. And awesome. The cards themselves are wrapped as well.
Is each card individually wrapped?
No.
No. No. There, Leo. There you go.
Wow. Look at that.
The Fool.
Was that card the keyboard monkey?
That card
Yes.
is the keyboard monkey.
What is the keyboard? What does the keyboard monkey inverted mean?
That means
It
Leo isn't on
means
the
that
side.
there's a Fleo and I don't have two screens, so I'm going to be going slow.
Yeah.
But we'll go through these real quick. There's 22 of them. We'll see if we have time before he gets on. The Fool, the Magician. I'll just start throwing them on the floor because that's how I like to do things. The High Priestess, the Empress,
The emotional support squirrel.
the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot, which I love his bed, dude. If you've read Little Nemo, you know the bed running, and it's just I love this series. Strength.
Yeah, Little Nemo's awesome. Little Nemo's a really cool property. It's so old. Flip.
I just remember it being a Nintendo.
Yeah, that's where I think a lot of us were introduced because that was a game of an anime movie that we didn't really see here at the time.
How many?
So,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Steve. Carrie, how many are usually in a tarot deck?
78. There's only 22 in this, though. These are
Okay.
just the major arcana. So I'm not going to make you look through an entire
These
tarot
are
deck.
really cool. Really
Just
cool.
the major arcana. Yeah.
Very nice.
Nightmare.
Very cool.
Tower. Nemo falling out of bed. Star. We're almost done here. The moon is, of course, the moon. And there's a sticker of that came with the one of the Kickstarters. I got 2 of them, so I don't really remember everything that I had. We're almost done here, guys. Judgment. The world. And we are back to the Fool. So, yeah, this is a neat little thing that I have now. That
Nice.
yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I have there are readings that can be done with just the major arcana, so I can do those, and I thought that was just a great little addition. That I'm gonna I would suggest to Carissa, but girl is already breaking her limit on add-ons. She actually put together a Kickstarter that had more add-ons than Kickstarter would let you have, and it's supposed to be unlimited. So,
wow.
Yeah. So do we want to just wait until Ian gets here and finish up the rest of them after?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, what do you guys think? Because
What-
speaking, I don't know. Like again, times and everything. I would say, Carrie, just keep. I would say maybe if you want to do like the shorter stuff first.
Okay.
Like anything smaller, and then we just work our way.
Oh,
never mind.
there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Drew, would you like to introduce him?
Hey, everybody! It's 9:00, and we have our guest coming on. He's an amazing writer, super great, Canadian, wonderful, bearded, totally awesome. Can juggle different characters from different properties. He's a long-standing Sonic writer, great Mega Man scribe. Everybody, the one, the only, Mr. Ian Flynn.
Hello.
Woohoo!
Sorry to be fashionably late.
No worries. Thank you for joining us, Ian. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Hello.
Make me feel important.
Well, no, yes, you are. You are. Thank you for your work.
Thank you for reading it.
And just to start off, what a lovely beard.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that you noted the bearded side of things.
Indeed, I'm currently regenerating mine, and
Yeah,
seeing yours and
excellent progress.
yours and Steve's and Tom's and whatever Leo's doing, and Carrie, you're fine.
I just shaved mine off today.
There you go. And then whatever the squirrel's doing there, definitely that's the best beard of all. But thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And it's actually funny because I need to say I actually got a chance to meet you at a Comic-Con a couple of years ago, and I actually have a little memento of my time. I have this lovely little art piece that I bought off your table. Leo, if you wouldn't mind, just nothing like the blues.
That's Breakman. Blues is he was introduced.
Yeah, man.
Is that Chad Thomas or Matt Herms?
I like I said, I didn't expect to see you at the con, so you were just selling these. I think it was like $10, and I was like, blues, thank you. Love that guy. But it's been on my art wall like ever since. So thank you.
Glad you enjoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Proto Man's always been my dude.
Oh yeah, man. Proto Man. But speaking of, I just need to say, Ian, I again, the characters you've worked on, I only had some knowledge of them because I played video games because I grew up in the 90s. And some of our characters here have definitely played some of those characters, but I know very little to anything. And your work, especially on Mega Man and stuff, was such a crash course. So by the time the series was done, I was like, I know things. I can carry conversation with fans now. Yeah. Thanks, Ian Flynn.
Entertaining and educational.
Indeed. But I mean, so the question I have is, I mean, you the characters were, you had to be a fan. I mean, you played the games, you knew who they were. So were you, or did just crazy random happenstance? Like, hey, do you want to do this? And like, sure.
I always had an appreciation for Mega Man, but I am notoriously bad at Mega Man. Like, cringeworthy. Don't let this man put a controller in his hands. I'm awful at Mega Man.
Okay.
But I was working on with Archie Comics at the time, working on their Sonic the Hedgehog series, and Capcom saw how well it was doing and said, "We want to boost the brand. Can we do a book? Can we do a deal with Archie?" And Archie was like, "Yeah, sure. We know a guy." So the editor at the time, Paul Kaminsky's like, "Do you know Mega Man? Can you do Mega Man?" I said, "I know of Mega Man," and started doing my research. And thankfully, the Mega Man fan base is incredibly passionate, with tons of documentation, not just of what came out in North America, but of the sometimes exclusive Japanese content that adds a lot of the nuance and fun character quirks to the Robot Masters and extended cast. And doing a deep dive on that, it's like, okay, we've got at the time 8 games.
Right.
Yeah, 9 hadn't come out yet, I don't think. Plus the spin-off titles in the line. It's like, well, we have this fantastic long plot line to follow already.
Right.
And because it's such a simple premise and the early games were so simple narratively, we have room to expand and explore the world. So we got to, do something that was very much a love letter to Mega Man itself for the hardcore fans, but also do something a little fun and experimental and unique for those who are coming to it fresh.
Yeah. Oh no, it was fantastic. And yeah.
Yeah, there he is. The yellow devil, love him.
Yeah.
So it really interests me that you weren't a super fan. I was wondering because the level of research you must have done is insane to me, because you worked in like every tiny little microscopic little character. I between this and the Sonic crossover, there are so many Mega Man characters that I was just constantly like gobsmacked that you worked in. My God, it amazes me. How did you like the Genesis unit? You had the 3 characters that were only secret characters in the Wily Wars for Sega Genesis, and like there's so many like small characters that are just such deep cuts. It really amazes me. So I guess a question for you is some of the pages we're going past here, some of the earlier pages, you had like those big one-eyed stomper robots, and there's lots of other examples of just sort of background enemies. These are small things. So I guess my question is, did you plot out what you wanted to see as far as that goes, or is that something like, well, the artist is actually a huge fan and worked in a lot into the backgrounds kind of a thing?
Little column A, little column B. Because the whole premise with classic Mega Man is that robots were largely very simple-minded creations, and that the robot masters were specifically designed to be able to command and control large groups of these robots. So in the game, they're the thing that gets in your way, and you have to shoot it, and it stomps on your face, and you get angry because you die again if you're me.
Yeah.
But in the world of Mega Man, they all have a function. They're not just mooks. They're actually something part of his world. There's something you can buy at the store. So what I wanted to do was try to incorporate that in so it felt like part of the living Mega Man world. And that took a lot of research on, what robots appeared in this game, what would make sense for these particular moments, what would make sense in the context of their world and this particular conflict. And then beyond that, we had a lot of Mega Man fans working on it art-wise who would add their additional touches, stuff that I wouldn't have thought of. When doing the research, I had a lot of help. My wife, Aaliyah Baker, who was very integral in designing Quake Woman and Dr. Melinde, She was a bigger fan and was able to pick up on a lot of stuff and suggest a number of things. David and Nadia Oxford over at the Mega Man Network, good friends of mine, they did the Robot Master Field Guide and the Maverick Field Guide with Udon. They were on tap. They helped me out a lot too. So I had I was in a very good position to be educated and did a lot of learning.
Man, it's very impressive because it's not a small series, as you said at the time. So there were, even if there were 8 main games out, and you're gonna ignore all the Mega Man X series and the any Battle Network or whatever was out at the time, but still 8 games is a lot, and they all have 8 robot masters each, and they have endless enemies and all sorts of different stuff and powers and whatever. But I like the way with this you focused on the original 6, right? Masters here, which is just fun. It feels like they deserve their due first, and I liked that a lot. That was really, really cool.
Case in point, with this page you have up here, the 2 soldiers.
Yeah.
I believe in the script it just said a couple of soldiers or a policeman or something, and then Patrick Spaziante, who is a gigantic Mega Man fan, did the designs, and they are a direct call out to another Capcom game, and I'm forgetting what it was.
Oh, is it Lost Worlds? Forgotten Worlds?
I don't remember now.
They kind of look like the Forgotten Worlds guys, although one of them was black in the game. But
sorry, Pat. And Capcom was
Captain Commando.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I couldn't remember if Captain Commando was a Capcom. That might have been. I think that's it.
Nice.
Neat. Well, so go back a page, just one. Keyboard monkey. So over on the left, you have this is hilarious. This where it says short circuits, and on the left side, you have the dopey looking Mega Man fan. That's a riff on the bad original box art for the first game, where he looks way too realistic, uncomfortably so, and he's wearing yellow, and he's got a paunch, and like he's probably holding a gun somewhere in there, and maybe no, but yeah, that's a level of fandom that certain people are gonna really appreciate, like me, and that's hilarious. That's so great.
Well, even having his name be Rock as well.
Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because, Drew, you held up the sketch, and you called it Blues, which is correct, right? But like specifically, Blues is the Japanese name for Proto Man. The picture you had was Breakman, who's the same character, but was his disguise in Mega Man 3 when we first met him. He was Breakman, which Ian references at some point in the comics that even mentioned him. Somebody called him, I think Wily says some flippant remark. He was, even when he was Breakman, he didn't listen to me or something, some to that effect. But Blues, you have as his actual first name, which I think is great. I hadn't heard of that before because I just know that's the Japanese name. Is that something that you decided on, or is that did that exist somewhere else that I'm just not familiar with?
It's been a bit, but I think it was kind of an attempt to homogenize the Japanese exclusive and the English exclusive
perfect
localization versions and find a common ground so it made a certain degree of sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense because they kept rock. They kept rock and roll, and they ditched everything else essentially for America. For the English version. So, why not, work in other stuff? Well, you have the cat Tango, who's Tango. That's a music thing. And then bass and treble. But there was a lot of music references throughout the different character names. And Blues is one of the ones that we did not get here. But I loved that. I loved that you did that. You're like, no, Blues is just his name, his personal name. And people call him Proto Man or whatever, but that was a really good decision. I think that was really cool. I was wondering if you were just doing that. You're like, no, we're gonna make it all canon. We're gonna make it all work.
Well, that and Blues himself goes through kind of a personal journey and through so many different identities. He is Breakman for a time, and then he goes to Proto Man, and then there's the whole Dark Man thing in 5, which is who is the true Proto Man, Dark Man thing. There's a lot of identity issues with Proto Man, especially with the fact that you have rock and roll coming in as not replacements, but they were the family that Light built after Blues left. So I figured it only made sense that he would have that degree of personal struggle and identity. So make that part of the naming convention. He was Blues, and he becomes the Breakman looking for vengeance. And then when he realizes he's in the wrong, he was the first, so he reverts just to the Proto Man.
Well, yeah. And if I could also say, I mean, you just handle these characters so well. I mean, because I can only imagine, like, you're taking on these characters that are fan favorites. There's been tons of comics, games, and whatnot. And like you said, like the fan base is quite passionate. So I can only imagine, like, oh, I'm taking this on. If it's really well liked, it'd be great. But if people have an opinion, they're going to come down hard. So, like, as a fan and someone coming into it with a lot of that research and whatnot, like how do you kind of like manage that, like kind of shield yourself and just write, especially since you're still writing these characters, Mega Man, you did a lot of work for. Sonic, you're still doing stuff, but like how do you find the balance, where, in terms of storytelling?
With Mega Man specifically, when doing the research, I started with what Japanese material I could come up first, because that was the origin. That's what everything was localized off of. And I figured that's what the foundation should be, since that informed everything that came later. And anything that was lost in translation, we can bring back and make accessible to the larger audience.
Right.
And then from there, it's okay, well, this is primarily for an English-speaking audience. It's going to be more familiar with the English version of the games. So we have to acknowledge that as well, so that it's comfortable and accessible to them. And then look at where has it gone since the original. Like, the original Mega Man comes out 8-bit. It's little blue boy runs around and shoots robots. And then they came out with, I think it was the PSP remake, Powered Up. And now Fireman has a southern drawl, and Iceman has a crush on roll, and there's all these new character elements added that weren't there originally, but it's all part of who they are. So it's like, okay, I want to incorporate as much as I can, and how much of it makes sense for them all together. Like, is there anything that just doesn't mesh? Is there anything that isn't as acceptable by today's sensibilities? What could we, like Oil Man and his design, that needed a little redesign. Yeah,
which is interesting, because that one came out so much later. That was the PSP. Oil Man was added with Time Man, and he's essentially blackface. It's like, what were you guys thinking? Like, it didn't come out in '86, which still seems like way too late for something like that. But that came out in what, late '90s or early 2000s or something. Like, it's
but
insane.
Patrick Spaziante just had the inspired move to make it part of a scarf, and kept the same general look.
So, yeah. So I have to ask, because I've noticed with where you've worked in series where your villains have insane eyebrow and mustache combos. So again, especially I noticed it the best because you had like the greatest, in my mind, the greatest cameo. You have Eggman and Wily together, two people that are literally the worst people to work together. Because like, oh yeah, we'll work together. And it's like, I'm secretly plotting to betray him at the first chance that the advantage is mine. And literally, I'm like, I'm dying. And I'm just like, okay, so basically, in order to be a video game villain, I need to make sure I already got the eyebrow combo. So I just got to grow my facial hair to insane levels. And then, yeah, exactly. It's just
gotta be like out here, yeah.
It's just gotta I see Wily's mustache, and I'm like, dear fucking God, that's an offensive weapon right there. That man is dangerous. But the thing is, again, like when you're writing villains like Eggman and Wily, like one, what's your motivation? And two, do you cast people? I mean, again, it's like with Eggman, everyone will forever now associate Jim Carrey, but do you think anybody is like, he would be a great Dr. Wily? Like, is there a voice that you hear in your head that it's just like, that's your dream Wily? You saw him, like, I'm in. Yes, that's our guy.
Not typically, because I'm terrible with actors.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of, it kind of goes back to like the high school theater class and
Okay.
getting into the head of the character. What is my motivation? Think of it as the character would, not try to apply dialogue to the character.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr.
Okay.
Wily is an egotist. He's a genius,
Right.
unparalleled. I mean, he built a robot out of wood. Who else can do that?
Right.
But he's driven by his own personal ego, and he's very short-sighted.
Right.
So when he is interacting with anyone else, it's through that lens.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Rock is replying to him, I have to switch gears and go, okay, how would Rock respond to him? Because what is his mentality?
Right.
And it's basically just an extended radio play in my head of these characters interacting. And characters like Wily get to be just so unapologetically evil. It's kind of cathartic. You can just be awful in the script, and it's like, it's okay. He's a bad guy. I can write these things.
Yeah. Like I said, he was just killing me because every time, even when he's failing, I was like, this is still my advantage. I'm still number one. I'm like, oh my God. Just like somebody knock him out already. Like, geez. And then you have Dr. Light, who's Mr. Bushy Beard. And I'm just like, I was like, my God, this is if Santa went the other alternative. It's just, well, instead of Christmas, I'm going to build robots, kids. And I'm just like dealing because I'm just like, evil Beard's like Santa Beard, evil Santa. I'm just like,
Well, and at one point, Ian, you made reference to the fact that he looks like Santa too. You did call him call him Santa at one point. I mean,
it's call a spade a spade.
That was a really funny
man. Yeah.
So,
but
so do the mustaches get their own part in the script? Like, and Dr. Wily's doing this, and his mustache is going to be doing this. So make sure that
the two of them made comment that like, what is Light doing having a beard? Doesn't he know that mustaches are the thing? Every evil genius has to have a big mustache.
Yeah, right.
I mean, even styles what little bit of the skullet he has into a secondary mustache, just flying away at the back.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very menacing silhouette.
I am one of the people who comment on this. I never played the games for any of these. I hit that one little niche where I was like out of circulation of tech for enough years that I missed everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was all new to me. I appreciate that you did the educational thing of this is so-and-so and they are this, particularly in the crossover that we read. So I could be like, okay, thanks. Yep, I did need that again because I'm not catching on as fast as the people who played. But scripting is what I'm really interested in here because, I mean, everybody writes, well, not everybody, but a lot of different comics have fight scenes and such. But this, you have very specific types of fighting that you have to do. And there's the absorption that this and staying like within all the different parameters that you have to do. How much of that did you trust to your artists? And how much of it did you get very specific on, like where the placement and stuff was?
So my philosophy when it comes to writing a script is you need to remove as much work as possible from the artist because they have a big job to do. They have deadlines to meet. And the less time they're sitting there going, okay, what does he want me to do here? The better.
Mm-hmm.
So for those fight scenes, I try to be explicit in the staging and the beat for beat action, and keeping in mind this is the timing of the fight, this is the flow of the battle, this is where it starts, this is where it ends, and this is what happens, and this is what each fight means. It's not just fight-o, shooty. What are these characters doing with each other? What is that interaction? What does this battle mean, and how does it progress? But I also know that what I see in my head may not work on the physical page, so I'm always open to the artist looking at it going, I see what you're trying to do, but that 4 panels really ought to be 7. Right. Or you are not fitting that much background element into this panel, sir. I need to revise. And let them do their craft, because they're the artists. They know what they're doing.
Good on you for providing a lot of direction, because I know there are some people, and I mean, it's not that anybody's wrong, but I'm sure what you're saying, it really helps the artist along when you give them that much insight instead of just being like, and the X-Men do their thing. So-and-so is against this person, and then, these guys win.
They have a fight.
here's
have
some
a fight.
snarky comments that occurred during said fight. So
And
throw those in.
the old Marvel style where you put the basic idea down and let the artist run wild with it. That's certainly valid. That's a fun way to do it.
Right.
But with something like a licensed book like this, where it has to be approved by the licensor as well as the normal editorial process, I feel like it needs to be a little more structured and guided. But again, still putting faith in the artist to do their thing.
Right. But and speaking of, like, again, you did your crossover, which was Worlds Collide, was absolutely amazing. So just credit to there. How do you have like a Bible? Like, you have like a huge story where you're meshing two worlds together, and then literally in the middle of it, you combine the worlds so they think they're the same universe, and then you're separating again. I mean, is there, like, when you're doing this, or do you have like a string room where you've got just connecting everything? You just got this. This is like, don't come in here. This is the Sony room. This is, I got to keep track of everything. Don't come in till I'm done in 2 months. Don't touch the strings. They're all connected. They're beautiful.
With the crossover specifically, I knew there was going to be a lot of people coming in who didn't read either comic, who were maybe lapsed fans of the game. So they remember that there's a hedgehog. They remember there's a little blue boy with a gun hand. That's about it. So the story itself had to be accessible to the largest audience there was.
Right.
Fan servicey, sure. But that's just built into the DNA because it's a crossover between two iconic characters. It's by its nature going to be fun.
Right.
So, and there's also the issue where, Sonic is licensed by Sega, Mega Man is licensed by Capcom. What if in the future one of those licenses is no longer available? They need to be standalone as best we can. So it needed to be compartmentalized, but it had to be meaningful. So with that in mind, it's like, okay, this is how the story works here. This is the containment for the characters and the lore. And because it was in its own little special pocket dimension, we didn't have to worry about any crossing over scenes or elements or locations. We could just lean into the fun fan servicey elements of it. And from there, it's just knowing the characters and how they would interact. And by this point, I knew these guys. So it was just playing with all the toys. And boy, did I play with the toys. There are some dream jobs out there. And this was easily within the top 5.
Yeah.
So much fun. There will never be another project that went as smoothly and was this much fun to put together.
No, absolutely. Like 100%. You just handled those best of both worlds so flawlessly. And now I have a new goal. I want to see a Mega Man movie where we see the gold form, because we've seen it with the Hedgehog. I'm just like, let's go, please. I want to see Rock just Super Saiyan it. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I just want to see that and just be like, that's a good color on you, buddy. I mean, I love the baby blue, but woo, like, yeah, you got that Aster look right now, man.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was fun. It was really fun. Like, you cracked the code. You're like, okay, how are we gonna do this? What's gonna be fun? You want to see one series' characters in the way that the other series presents their stuff, and in the same way that, like, say, Batman versus Ninja Turtles gave us mutated versions of all the Batman villains, that kind of thing. You're like, okay, let's see all the guys. Let's go through and let's see how everybody would look like as a mutant. And that's what you did, right? You did that essentially, but you did it, in a way that would fit these worlds. And it was intensely fun to see each design. And I don't even know, I couldn't even pick a favorite. There were so many fun ones, and it really was it was really fun. You really cracked the code. I really enjoyed it. Appreciated the avenue, because that is tough. It's like, it seems like, oh, this is a slam dunk. It's these two mega properties, everybody loves them, but it's like, yeah, but you got to do it right. And like, that angle that you picked, that I'm specifically not saying, is great, like brilliant stuff, and not everybody would have just come up with that naturally. Like the angle that the in that you came up with was fantastic. So
Thank you very much.
just yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely. No, and
So, actually, I
for
was
it.
just going to bring up real quick, as a little bit of a transition. So, Ian, you mentioned dream job, and I read that, like, the Sega Genesis was your first console, the one that came with Sonic 2, and now you find yourself writing Sonic, the comic and even the video games. Like, how surreal is that? Like, all of us are, except for Carrie, all of us are, classic gamers, and growing up with those games. It must be just amazing to look back at, like, your career.
It is. I kind of look back and go, how'd I get here? When? What did I do? But it's also been 20 years of picking away at it and doing the best I can and impressing the right people at the right time and just seizing opportunities as they came along.
That's yeah. And I have to ask, I mean, you've been to enough conventions, so you must have seen dozens of cosplays walk up to you and were like, love your work, thank you. I can only imagine the Wileys and the hedgehogs and just everything you've seen. And I even imagine someone just like, here you go, and just gives you a ring and just like, just in case you need it. And you're like, oh, okay.
Man, I have gotten so many cool gifts over the years, like custom Lego versions of characters, not just from the games, but from the crossover itself.
Whoa.
Like full paper mache recreations of game elements. Like plushes, custom made plushes of some of the characters that I helped conceive of, and just
wow.
As a matter of fact, a friend of ours came as Dr. Lalinde.
What?
Because she was a friend of ours. She was a super big Mega Man fan. She kind of helped inspire the character. So she was, all right, I'm her, and came up in the show as her.
That's amazing. Dude, that is so fucking cool. I mean, yeah, that's man, like I said, what an honor. Your trophy room must just be a nerdvana. Just
I wish I had another wing, like I need a house, so I have a room for everything, because so much of it is in boxes. It's so sad, but that's kind of what's so cool about this, is that we're all fans of it, and we just kind of me, everybody just kind of goes, that was so cool. Yeah, it was it? And when that thing happened and that thing happened, yeah, wasn't that cool? That was cool, and we just geek out over it. It's fun.
So speaking of geeking out, I have to ask. I mean, you're a fan like us. In your career, did you have what was your geek out moment? You met a creator, somebody, and they were like, oh, and they're like, oh my God, I love your work. And they're like, oh, thank you. Like,
pretty much everybody who has ever worked on any of these things, I've become a stammering mess. I've gotten better about it, but
same.
Maybe the number one spot was Patrick Spaziante, who did the first arc and a lot of the covers of Mega Man. Because I grew up reading his stuff, and when he was on board, it was like, ooh, this is where the money is. This is because he brought his art to a whole other level. And to meet him in person was a huge honor. He's a super sweet guy, very humble, very soft-spoken. And we were at, I think it was New York Comic-Con. It was that or San Diego. I can't remember now. And we were doing signings to promote the crossover, because that's where we had just announced it. And he's doing sketches real quick of Mega Man and Sonic shaking hands. And it's like, oh, this is terrible. And it's like, my dude, what limb do I have to sacrifice to which demon to be able to have that power? It was like watching a laser jet printer. His line work was immaculate.
Right
there. It was.
And he's like, this is crap.
Yeah. He's like, I wish I could do this better. It's like, my dude, no, this is fantastic.
It's like, I would frame your reject pile. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But that's fantastic. I mean, I also, like I said, when I got to meet you at New York Comic Con, you were just sitting, I think it was it was at the Archie booth, and it was just Ian Flynn, and it was like, and you're like, oh hi, yeah, I'm Ian Flynn. I was like, oh, I have some comments. Oh yeah, sure, I'll sign them. And we had to like this mini conversation. You're selling art, and I'm like, one, why didn't I bring more? He's right here. Should have brought more, but I didn't actually think, because New York is so big, you just don't actually think. Like a lot of times, you run into people at the kid. There's a line and everything, and you just don't even think. I was like, I'll have my favorite arc just in case, just crazy random happenstance, and then you're just there, and I'm like, why? Just why didn't I bring more? I didn't know.
It's a lot to carry around a big show.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can ask these people here. I'm very much one of those people. I was like, could you sign my book? Sure. Thank you. If you just you don't need to personalize. Just
didn't quite know what you signed up for there. And he slams down, a stack of 50.
Okay, we're gonna organize this. You take these. You take these. You take these. You take these. You're going on Tuesday. Friday at 3:00.
Guys, don't call me out like this, man. Like, don't, please don't.
We love
you.
Should
we not mention the hand truck you bring to bring your?
Okay, okay? It's not a hand truck. It's a rolling suitcase. Okay,
it's a fanny pack.
Planet Comic Con.
It's not a fanny pack. Okay, it's a travel pouch.
It's a manny pack. All right.
Great, thank you.
I'm a man.
Correct. Jeez, you're embarrassing me in front of our guest.
In front of Ian Flynn. I was just wondering how long you spent on his beard when you met him the first time.
I was just like, hey, cool beard. He was like, okay, thanks. He's very polite in person. He's just very like, all right, cool. Nice guy.
That's great.
He's like, all right, not weird at all. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my good sir. You have to work a lot harder to reach that threshold.
He's on that Dr. Light logic. I was like, no, everything's good. No, if it's gonna cause a fuss, I'll get arrested. I'll prove my innocence. I'm just like, you're so nice. Why did you make the mistake of trusting the mustache man? Why, Dr. Light? Why?
Oh dear.
So Ian, I read that you wrote a really good proposal for a Mario comic, but apparently Nintendo of Japan didn't approve it. Is that true?
Something like that. I don't know the full scope of it because I'm very low in the terms of pecking order and who talks to who. But there was a brief period where I don't know if Nintendo was approaching Archie or if Archie was pursuing Nintendo, one or the other. But licensing was being talked about. And I put together a pitch for a Mario miniseries that would hopefully launch into an ongoing a la Sonic or Mega Man. And I believe Tracy Yardley and Ben Bates did some concept art for it.
Nice.
And it didn't get picked up. We tinkered with a Kirby idea, a Metroid idea.
What?
Ooh. Oh God!
None of those took root, sadly, and so.
This collective room groaned at what could have been.
Metroid.
There we go.
Wow, that looks nice.
Jeez, man.
Pretty.
Oh, God, why?
If you were able to get the license to get Mario into the Archie comics, it would be awesome to see Mario and Sonic in an adventure together, like they did with Mega Man and Sonic. Instead of having Mario and Sonic play Olympic sports, I think that would have been a lot better because I've been dreaming that for years, and that's a crossover that definitely needs to happen.
No, I think what we're just essentially, I feel like what Ian was trying to do is that collectively he was just trying to get like the video game Infinity Gauntlet and just
right.
Essentially then get to as then the Super Smash trilogy, where he's just writing all the characters fighting, and then it is the most insane Marvel level event of them all, where there's just a lot of us, and then just so randomly, look at that Pokemon. Oh, it's a Charizard. What? Oh, it's a Kirby. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much here.
Nobody says it's a Kirby.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I could just see he's just like,
Sure does.
all right, I got
I'll
two.
do it myself.
Let's see who else we can get. I'm like, oh no.
The
Oh
Metroid comic. Oh, Metroid comic would have been the one. That's
Oh my
that's
God.
long been my number. Whenever ever anybody says like, what's your, what's your number one game you want to see turned into a movie or something like that, or any medium at all, it's always Metroid. Metroid would work.
Absolutely. And I
so
think the
well.
thing that still dawns on me is that there's always that one person who had absolutely no idea that Metroid was a female in the suit, and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh."
I mean, at
thank
this
you.
point, it's you got to be your head's in the sand. But
That's
at
what
the time,
exactly.
it was they had to. It's because you know why? It's because they had to trick boys to play as a girl. Like you had to be tricked back then. There are other examples of characters being revealed at the end of the game as a girl. One of which is Sypha Belnades from Castlevania 3. They
Right.
didn't tell you for the entire game that it was a girl, and then if you beat it with her as your partner, she took off her hood finally, and you see, oh, she's got lovely, lovely long blonde hair.
Oh, wow. So nice.
And
There's
then,
other examples
So did
too, but
Shannon
yeah.
Hoon, but
Yeah.
and
But
was it the
So
is it
silly.
Justin Bailey was the code for the original Metroid?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
There
But-
truly
Crazy
is
to
no
say that.
explanation for Justin Bailey.
I have
Yeah.
to tell you,
Apparently, I'm going to misremember the exact details, but Justin Bailey happens to be just a happy accident.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not the
Yep.
actual name. It's just
Yeah.
what the
Correct.
characters register in the hex code.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things you can put in to get the same result. It's just that
Mhm.
was the first one
That's
found,
crazy.
and it stuck.
That's
But-
100% true. That's exactly right. It's no person. There's so many legends about Justin Bailey, the person, and like, was it a fan that they did that as a thank you for Nintendo did for some reason some contest. There's all these urban legends, but none of them are true. It's just it's a crazy happenstance that it seems like a name.
Absolutely.
I was
But-
so
Crazy
glad
stuff.
when they brought back the side-scrolling Metroid with Dread, but oh my god, that game
That
was
was awesome.
me.
I mean, it's great because it's like xenomorphs for kids, kind of. It's like
Right.
Ridley Scott for kids is what it's like. It's just awesome.
The
love
PG aliens.
Yeah, and you could they expanded the lore so much in the later games, with the Prime series and Prime Forward, basically. But you could easily go back to the original timeline and just be like, yeah, it's one of those things like with the right elements in place, somebody who's an excellent writer who does their homework, like Ian, could certainly take the certain small things that we learned from the first couple of games, even just literally the first 3 games through Super Metroid. You could take the biology of the creatures and there's a mother brain, there's a Ridley, you need the Chozo statues, you need like basic stuff, and then you can just like craft anything and it's gonna feel like Metroid.
Totally.
It's so cool.
And
Well,
I did.
Metroid.
I was
with
just
Metroid being the inspiration behind the whole Alien franchise. With Ripley and
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Splash Pages.
Wow.
It's a real educational show, kids. Thanks, everybody.
Just real quick, I didn't realize that they also made a new side-scrolling Sonic. Which Ian, is that one of the ones that you worked on? I know you worked on some of the games as well.
I did I helped with some of the ancillary material, the short form animation. There was a digital comic to help promote, but I wasn't involved with the game itself.
Okay.
Carrie, did you have you did a little more research, something about a manga?
Yeah. So as I was kind of lost and out to sea at the Mega Man Sonic, and there's so much of it, I went through, read the crossover, went like, this is awesome. I learned a lot about a lot of characters. I upped my quantum physics level a little bit as far as XP goes. And I decided, and it was a great read to go through, and like, hello to you as well, Daddler the Dalek.
I love her.
But I I decided to go off and read some of your other things because I am the one who always does the extra stuff. Like I'm like that kid in the class who's like, "Oh, and did you know that they also wrote this for this before this and that?" But
And we all beat
no,
her up afterwards. That's
yeah,
what
they
happens
do.
later.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
We steal her
But
lunch money after.
We do.
they
Yeah.
take Ratatosker's alcohol and it's horrible. But
You
so
tell
I
them where they
read.
live. I'll make them give that money back.
Oh, whoa! Guys, the Flynn father has spoken. We must
She
not.
she reads my stuff. I got to look after my fans. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, guys. Flynn has
I went
spoken.
off and I bought myself a copy of the Dragoon.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, and then I went and found on some other sites the second one, the Outlaw version, and the Claus McGee, the 9 Lives of Claus McGee, and I love it. It's okay. So Dragoon is it's kind of a sci-fi fantasy merge sort of experience in my mind, and there's a character that's supposed to there's different worlds, and he wrote this wonderful story where you have it's almost like a little feel of Cowboy Bebop I got from it. There's kind of space pirates, maybe not exactly pirates, but going around collecting things. And there's some younger characters, so it's kid friendly still. But there's also a lot of something where I was talking about this on other shows that there's all these different planets or planes of existence and stuff, and well, it's planets, so it's different worlds, I guess.
They're kind of islands.
Yeah, where different species evolve at. And there's this really cute setup where one of the Dragoon is reading to another storybook that I think they just realized as they're reading at this time that it was originally edited by the person who their parental figure on board, and crossed it all because it was initially written by we are the Humes and Humes are the best ever, and then over here there are these beasts that are, and it's all crossed out and re-edited so that it's like they are people too and they are as good as us, and it's so good that you put that kind of feeling into it, because it was a story that as an adult I could appreciate what's going on, but I could also look at it and go, oh, that's such a great way to teach kids things, because you leave in like what was there just mostly scratched out, but enough that you can read and see how propaganda used to be used, and it's like, is this how all the books were? Yeah. So I really appreciate that. What brought that all about is, I guess I'm like everybody else is just like, okay, it's Carrie and Ian time now. We're bonding. We can have a moment here.
Yeah,
But
we can close our cameras if you two want to talk. Yeah, we can go for like a coffee break. You guys, coffee, bathroom break. Anybody? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1 second.
Oh
Just
my
for some quick context for everyone who's watching at home, Dragoon is the original series that I'm working on. We're originally doing it as a web comic, and it was very decompressed, very slow paced, very experimental as we found the tone and the art style, and that was fine. It's just we weren't making the progress that I wanted with the story. So what is available now as a pay what you want digital download is the original pass, but we have revised it. We're doing a whole start over. Physical book we're trying to get out this spring. But with that aside, the sequence in question is a storybook set in universe. And I have so much I want to tell about this universe of my own. But it's so dense. How do you convey all that without it just being like the Cimmerillion, which is going to turn a lot of people off? And I have a lot of experience working with in education and working with small children. And slowly I pieced it together that the Berenstain Bear books, your Dr. Seuss books, they are so memorable and are so effective because they are approachable in how they convey their information, but there are deeper levels to it. So with the children's book, there is the surface level read, which is here is just a quick overview of the different species and the different realms. La di da, you got your info there. but then because some of it has been edited and crossed out, and you can see how harsh some of the original terminology is, and how the updated text corrects it to a more open world view, that already tells you what the circumstances are for all of Galaxant and puts that extra sinister edge to it. And then on top of that, because the new text recontextualizes what's there before, you get more nuanced understanding of these different regions. And then you go, wait a minute, if the text is wrong, is there something wrong with the art? So you start looking at the very simple childish art and realize how caricature-esque it is, and how it is further pushing its own narrative, and it makes you question, okay, how much of this is a legitimate representation of what we see, and how much of it do I need to question? And in just those 6 pages, you get a bite-sized understanding of the entire world you're in, what the political climate of it is, and what the relationship is between the core cast, because you see the one reading to the other and then realizing herself, this is what she was brought up on, and this is how she was protected, and recontextualized in her mind how she interacts with the other. It's all these little moving pieces, and I'm going to be vain enough to say I'm proud of how that sequence came together. So I'm
You
very
should
glad
be.
you pointed it out. Thank you very much.
It was, as you put it, it was one of the best, just short explanation storytelling. Here's my world, here's how it was, everything you just said. It had to be brought up. It was just brilliant. You made a synopsis on a level of intellectual ability and just very feels emotional kind of stuff as well, and political standpoints. It was great. The other one I want to bring up, that's a great series, by the way. You need to read it. When you have it coming out, let us know so we can push it for you.
I will be
And
shouting from the mountaintops. This has been a long time coming.
Okay, well, we will be promoting for you as long as you let us know when things are going on. The other thing I want to talk about that you guys might be interested, this one is adorable and rather hysterical. It's Klaus McGee and the 9 Lives of Klaus McGee. There's a cat who is an explorer cat, and he gets a magic jingle ball, and it takes him going through different lives, and it's just like the cutest comic, and he doesn't go through all 9 of his lives, but it's something. You have to go and check this guy out, because is there going to be more coming from Klaus McGee?
Yep.
Because
it's just I'm funding this all out of pocket, so it's what can I do at any given time. But Klaus McGee, Drogoon is my giant Tolkien-esque epic.
Right.
And I need to really break myself of the bad habit of turning every story into some giant sweeping epic. So Klaus McGee was supposed to be, this is the fun one. This is the simple one. This is the lighthearted one. It's still kind of started to get its epicness going on, but it's a little more bite-sized. There's 2 digital issues available now. Jonathan Griffiths, the artist, is like tailor-made for this. I freaking adore his style, and he nails every single comedic moment. Number 3 is kind of sort of in the works, and hopefully once Drogoon Volume 1 is wrapped, I can get John on to do clause number 3, and then we'll get number 4. We'll go to trade from there, and slowly but surely put it out there. It's just a lot harder when you don't have somebody bankrolling everything and handling all the printing and doing all the work for you.
Yeah. But what you have put out is brilliant. So you guys, go read the Sonic, read the other stuff, but go check out his creator-owned stuff too, because it's damn good. Like, I was like, he's an educator and a feelser kind of person. So, and just a damn good storyteller. Like, there is adventure and some excitement and some there's even some Guardians of the Galaxy type of moments in the Drogoon thing. There's there's a lot of sarcasm and stuff, but it just it's all wrapped up in this one 60-page condensed webcomic right now that we're going to be promoting as soon as it goes big. So yeah, check out some more of his stuff. And that's the part from Carrie and the squirrel. Now we're gonna drink.
I also found that you wrote a Superman story, and so they're doing right now a Sonic and DC crossover. So like Shadow is Batman and whatnot. So thinking back at how you wrote Superman, is there a character that you would say if either Marvel or DC comes to Archie and says we want to do another crossover, is there a superhero you'd like to mash up with a Sonic character for like a short run series?
Just because I am writing the Sonic and DC crossover, and it's not out yet, and there's a lot of people involved and paying attention to the chatter about that, I'm going to abstain from talking about that kind of crossover stuff.
Fair.
My apologies. I didn't know you were working.
No. It's all right. Issue 1 comes out on March 19th, I think.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, because we saw that and I was like, oh wow, that is going to be.
Can I answer the question? I'm going with Mr. Tails-rific.
Damn.
See what you did there?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So for the second time tonight, I'm going to say this to someone on the show: get out.
Oh, come now! It fits him to a T.
Oh, it's a true thing.
Oh yeah, no. So Ian, so that's my thing. When one of these knuckleheads gets a little too big with their joke, I'm the I'm the Sheriff Woody in Toy Story. Give me that.
There's a snake in Drew's boot.
Yeah. Go away. You know, the words I want to say, I can't, because there are preschool educators here.
You've already sworn like 16 times.
I know, right? Fair enough.
It's like preschool educators.
You're right.
I just have to say, I just love it that Ian came back with a corny joke. Fits him to a T.
Yeah.
You can't tell him to get out. That's the best part.
The man knows. No, I will never tell our guest to get out. The rest of you go to hell. Him, he's great.
You go to hell and you die.
You go to hell. But
I did have one question, and this might be something else that you can't actually discuss, but it was something when I was reading the crossover, and I was like, okay, and we were talking how Dr. Wily and Eggman were both like, we're pondering together, we're plotting together, we're backstabbing each other the entire time, and I noticed said new to both universes. All of a sudden, Eggman is just like, I'm chucking Dr. Light out to the ground, and Dr. Wily's just like, what are you doing? Like, you don't actually kill them, because if you kill them, you can't keep taunting them and stuff. But it seemed to me like that suddenly was just so much more brutal of a universe. Like, I don't know if that's something you can really comment on or not, but it was just like, was it meant to be that way, or was it just kind of a throwaway and I over absorbed something? Because
no, you're right on track. When you look at the two characters and their history of villainy, Dr. Wily's rampages and nonsense are certainly problematic, but it never really feels like he's trying to be malicious. It's very short-sighted, it's petulant, it's childlike. He just wants to be acknowledged. You know, if he took over the world, he wouldn't know what to do with it. He just wants to be seen as the genius.
right.
Dr. Eggman blows up planets. He holds people at hostage, at gunpoint, demanding that you arrive in time or he'll pull the trigger. He's a bad man. And the parallels going into the crossover was that you've got Sonic and Rock, who are very different personality-wise, so there's that bit of friction at first, but they eventually learn to work together. They learn what makes each other tick. There's that mutual respect, and they come together by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Eggman and Wily have this wonderful bromance at the start. They're just delightfully wicked. They're puffing up each other's egos. And then the villainy hits. It's like, oh, wait, no. You're a bad man. Not in the fun way, but a bad way. And it falls apart because they're just despicable people.
Right.
And so you have that dovetail in both ends. And it's, I don't know, poetic, if I can be so vain.
Yeah, no, but so I have a question just because have you ever considered cosplaying any of your characters from either universe? And if you didn't, who would you? Like, if you were like at a costume party with friends, you would show up dressed as, because I feel you would be a really good Dr. Light. And I'm not just saying
Dr. Light. I unfortunately have the body type for Eggman, so that's crossed my mind on occasion, but I'm forbidden from shaving my head completely.
I get it.
Fair.
Fair.
My wife likes the hair too much. It has to stay.
Right. No.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. No, it's good. Good stuff. Okay. I can only imagine your costume photos. You know, I was like, my God, if he shows up as Mega Man, I'm done. You know.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Steve. You know what? I've never liked you. I only put up with you for the sake of the show. I just want to let you know that, and I don't even care that that's a lie. I like you very much, and I respect you, and I'm really sad that I don't get your approval. I'm going to take a man timeout right now.
Ian, I totally get what you're saying. I used to buzz my head, but my wife, she doesn't like it when I do that. So it's definitely got to keep some length.
Then this might be too much information, but this grows really darn fast.
Yeah.
Like if I buzz it down to almost nothing, it'll be about this length within a month. So the upkeep would be obnoxious.
Dude, you can't see, but my hair, like, this is with it braided. I have about 4 feet going on, but it's hat day, so I'm in braids. But I had a head injury when I was young, and my mom's like, ever since that head injury, your hair just grew thicker and faster. And I'm
Best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, you know, I mean, like, I have seizures, but I have fucking phenomenal hair. So
and you have the automatic cushioning, so you're set. You're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always look on the bright side of life, Carrie.
So I wanted to, Tom Dog, all of us talk a lot, and Leo's used to it, so he just interrupts whenever, like, he gets around to it. But is there anything, like, we've just been talking, because we are talkers.
Yeah. I am just soaking this in. I absolutely love the Mega Man origin. That was my absolute favorite. And nothing against the I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But the character development that you gave Mega Man throughout that early stages of the comic, developing his new powers and getting used to being that fighting robot that we all know and love. It was amazing how good of a character development that you gave Mega Man. That was absolutely amazing. And my favorite part in that comic book series, Cut Man.
Oh my God!
Quite the cut up.
The puns was awesome.
I mean, when you have a sharp wit like that, and you're cut above the rest.
Yeah.
He definitely got the edge of everybody else.
Oh, bravo!
And then
Ian Kinsale.
And then bringing that spoiler to the crossover where they made a good cameo in that one. Mind if I cut in? that was amazing.
Man, you son of a bitch.
And the best part in the crossover was the building between Sonic and Mega Man. Go after Shadow Man. Which Shadow Man?
That was fun. That was fun. I really dug that.
That was by far the most
like
hilarious thing. And
I really like that.
And with these and throughout all these stories, I was actually pinpointing of what they would sound like, because I have a knack for doing that. If I'm reading a comment, I always like to do the like how they would sound. But and I had that little bit of confusion with Wily and and Eggman because they almost sound similar. But then I started going with the whole Eggman from Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
And
That's all I heard was Eggman from Sonic Adventure.
yeah. And there were at times where I was even channeling my Jim Cummings as Eggman.
Oh wow!
And kudos to the Easter egg that was in there too with Snively next to Dr. Light.
Was that your idea, or can you not talk about that?
It's been so long, I can't remember now.
I was wondering if that was I 100% saw that and was like, I bet this was just the artist. I bet the artist threw this in or something like that. But I was wondering. That was great.
Absolutely.
Just a quick roundtable question for all of us. As we were reading the Mega Man comic and the blue beam came down for the first time, how many of us heard the sound in our head?
Oh my God. And the whip. The whip was the onomatopoeia. Whip. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I heard, but I've never seen it before. So it was well written because that was
Yeah.
I agonized over how to do that onomatopoeia. It's like, what is the sound? I'm listening to the same little 8-bit sound effect. What is that?
Right.
Noise? How do you render this?
Right.
Do you
like, how do you do the Transformers? How do you?
Right. How do you? So true. Well, as an OG fan, I approve Bwip. Bwip. That's so great. I love it.
Do you decide to choose the Krakoom? Like I'm going with the traditional stuff, but do you choose those, or do you let your letter or artist come up with what sounds go with which things? Are you like, this is the bam 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 Krakoom, go Krakoom, smash?
Typically,
Carrie loves sound effects. That's
I'm
also
a huge
her thing.
lettering fan. Yeah, it's a weird thing of mine, but it's fun.
No, and when it's used effectively, it can really elevate a particular scene.
Yeah,
I feel like overuse of sound effects distracts from the page. I prefer the more manga-esque, let the visuals convey the sound to you, because what you hear in your own head is going to be more resonant than just typing it out. But sometimes you need to have it out there, like the crowd scene with the ha ha ha's. You can't just have a word balloon pop up say ha. That doesn't have the same effect. That needs to be a sound effect.
Agreed.
Or if you have an explosion, having it in the letters or have the fiery text, it adds that little extra oomph. So sometimes the letterer will up the game on some of those. Like I did a miniseries for Studio Aether called Tales of Aether, and was very reserved on the sound effects there, but the letterer didn't like that and added a whole bunch more, but he did it to great effect. And it's like, all right, it works. You know what you're doing. So let the artist do their art.
I think also, and this is no criticism at all, but a lot of your battle scenes are so busy. There are so many characters involved in things, and there is so much of the space taken up that doing lettering, it's like, where do you put it that you aren't covering up a fantastic piece of art that's already there?
It's
so
hard.
you can have like the transparency thing going on, and you have had that in some of them, but it is really hard to fit in more. But I understand where you're coming from. That I'm always amused by lettering and like, who decides which sound effect are we going to put here?
What I really appreciated with the whip is it's a very Mega Man like centric thing that we can all hear, as Leo said, but also it's like a trademark teleport onomatopoeia, so it becomes like the Bamf of this comic. And I think that, I mean, Nightcrawler's my favorite, so like I appreciated the Mega Man Bamf, basically. But whip.
Absolutely. So
My favorite sound effect was the spring. Whenever Sonic
Oh.
hit the springs, and
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. The
the
platforms. Boing, boing, boing.
So, Ian, I know we are coming up on time. Just one other quick Mega Man question here. So, with one thing I noticed, and I'm trying to find it, but I can't. Like, there was one screen. There's a lot of stuff that is placed in the background, and I know you mentioned that you gave a lot of direction for the artist in this. So like in the background, I saw there was like an actual looked like a screenshot, or well, it was definitely the boss layout from the original game. Is there, and I think there's like a Game Boy screen as well. Is there something hidden that you remember? I know this is a while back that you thought nobody's gonna catch this, or you know, only the true diehards will find this.
It has been too long. To
No
be
worries.
perfectly
No
honest.
worries.
And
This was
I'm not known
2012,
for my
right?
subtlety, so if there's a reference in there, it's probably very much on the nose.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Sounds
This was
good.
2012 originally. Is that what this was?
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah.
Really cool
All
stuff.
right. Well, Leah, are you sure you don't have any other questions we
Well,
ask before we sign up?
You have the Leo questions.
I do. Well, so Ian, one thing we ask everybody is when you are not doing your amazing comic work, what do you dork out about? Like, you know, are you still a gamer? You know, do you build models? Like, what do you do to, decompress to
Decompress. You're funny. I'm like a suspension bridge. I'm held together by stress.
No, very few things are truer. Thank you.
If I have time, I want to, usually devote it to my own stuff because if it's not going to get out there unless I do it.
Right.
If I do have a couple of minutes a day to play games, I'm usually logging into Genshin Impact to get my dailies in. Or whenever the next story beat comes down, it's like, yes, give me the lore. And I just recently was going through Banjo-Kazooie again because it came up on the Switch.
Yes.
It's like, it's been forever. Let's go back again.
Mm.
And but I don't really have a ton of time. It's either I'm either adulting or I'm working for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Awesome. And you mentioned Switch. Do you have any other consoles, or you just do Switch?
Yeah, I got the Switch and I got a PS5 right now.
Oh, I know it's a lengthy game, but if you get a chance to try Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, holy crap, that's a good game.
Add it to the list. I wanted to get into Baldur's Gate 3 for how long has it been out?
Yep. Same here. That's sitting on my computer waiting to play, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is very Skyrim-ish, but more medieval rather than like dragons and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's my dorky questions. We should wrap things up.
Are you on Blue Sky?
I am. I'm Ian Flynn,
That's a Leo
DKC.
question. Okay. Serious question, but it's also a classic Leo question.
Yeah.
My website, bumbleking.com, has links to all my social media channels. It has samples of voice work, manuscript sample if you want to see how I do my scripting.
Mm-hmm.
It has links to all the stores where you can do merchandise and the digital comics and other stuff. Got links to my own podcast where I do Q&A all the bloody time. And we're looking to diversify that channel a bit. So if you want to know what I have worked on, if you want to know where to find me, if you want to know everything but my bank account and blood type, go over to bumbleking.com.
Awesome.
Yes, I went there. It is amazingly well put together website. You can navigate through that so easily and get everywhere you need to go.
Well, when you said you were looking up what all I've done, it's like, oh, I hope you know that site because otherwise that's
yeah,
to hunt down on your own.
Yeah, I found a couple of things. I'm like, you can go here and you can read it on Ko-Fi, and you can go here and check out this. But yeah, that is the best site as far as like finding out everything that he's done and getting through it. Go right there, check it out. It's amazing. You done
And
good, boy.
be sure we have that in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And with that, I think Drew, anything else?
I'm good. I'm just thank you so much, Ian, for coming on. We really do appreciate it. It was fantastic. We had some laughs. We had some moments. If we need to send an NDA, we'll just email to me and I'll make sure everybody signs and gets it to Sony ASAP.
Subject line to Drew: get out.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna go. I've been told to leave.
Do you have
Thanks for having me. It's been a fun time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks a lot.
What's your
nice
next
talking to you.
con, Ian?
I may do Fan Expo in Toronto in August, but that's a giant question mark right now. I have no idea what work and life is going to be like at that point.
Fair enough.
Good.
Fair enough.
Well, thank you again for joining us this evening. And if you don't mind, there's a leave studio button on the bottom. When you're ready to go, just hit that. It'll prompt you to go to an uploads page. If you can just leave that uploading, because we take everybody's audio and video separately and then
I
splice
see.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you see it as 100, Ian, then you can close because everything's been saved. And if there's any issues, let us know, and we can always just resend you the link.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, gang. Have a good night.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was
great.
Absolutely fantastic. So
Yeah.
Oh, he was so
Carrie-
nice.
yeah, it was wonderful. You all did great. Tom, you did great. Steve,
Thank you.
you did great. Leo, you're fine.
I was
Carrie,
in awe.
yeah, no, we could tell you were a little, you looked a little starstruck, buddy. You were just like hedgehogs.
Okay.
And Mega Man.
So Leo.
And Drew,
God damn it, Steve. That Carrie's next pillow is Steve Van Sampson holding the phone. Get out.
Seriously, like on this side, your face is starting to pill a little bit, so I might have to order a new one. And Jenny's like, if you put that merch up online so you can order it, I'm getting
Carrie,
stuff.
is that like your normal nighttime pillow that you use every
No,
night? Do
no,
you
no, no,
sleep
no,
on
no.
that?
No.
Because it's starting to pill. It's starting to pill a little
Hey.
bit, so I'm thinking it has use.
He sits behind my back.
Do you sleep
sometimes,
on
and I
Drew's
rest my-
face?
Oh no.
No, Drew doesn't go in my bedroom. Drew stays on the side. I
Oh my
use him as an
God.
elbow mat for writing.
Yeah.
He's pilling, but
Okay.
he's not that kind of a pillow.
Okay.
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 Okay. Speaking of that kind of a pillow, let's get into the crowdfunding because this is going to be some fun. Okay. What I want you to do, Leo. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Tales from Erotech, a not safe for work indie anthology with sex robots. Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you say sex robots?
I said sex robots. Yes,
Okay.
I did. This is not something that we normally promote on this channel. However, we have friends of the show that are in this book, and it looks rather interesting. So, basically, what we have going here, go to Kickstarter, look up from Tales from Erotech, or Erotech. This project, it's going to be done by March 15th, so we have 18 days still to do it. And it's an indie comics anthology exploring the relationship between sex robots and the people who purchase them, featuring some of the most exciting and diverse creators working today. SHP Comics is proud to announce the upcoming release of the newest title, Tales from Erotech, or Erotech, Volume 1, and it explores the worlds of sex, technology, and humanity. So many sex bots, so little time. Featuring the works of 10 emerging and mainstay indie creators, the anthology represents a wide range of news stories, from a darkly prophetic vision of sex robots as weapons of war, to the perils of playing in the lost and found, to the benefits of robots as relationship counselors. Whether you're a fan of horror, comedy, or indie creators at the top of their game, there's something here for everyone. Sex robots can be anything, just like people, and we're celebrating and elevating that diversity. Each artist brings a unique perspective and technique to the stories they tell, with inspirations ranging from underground comics, manga, surrealism, superheroes, mid-century modern design, and more. We've curated an incredible collection of stories. With your help, we can bring them to work. Featuring the stories that they have so far are A Day Away by Dean Haspiel, which will be 8 pages long. Alice 1+2 by Chloe Brailsford, which is a 6-page story. Chopped and Screwed by Brian McCrae, a 4-page story. TBD, that's actually the title, not just a waiting title, by Garrett Young, which is a 4 to 6 page story. Killer Sex Spot by Katie Mansfield, 6 pages. Rude Awakening by Flops. This is a 2-page comic. The Adventures of Toxic Masculinity Man and Sexy Woman by Jack Purcell and Darren S. Cape, which is a 6-page story. And Three's Company by Nate Walkington, Jeffrey K., and Darren S. Cape, a 28-page story. Overall, as you're seeing here, this is an 80-plus page book, including black and white color comics. It is 6.625 by 10.25 inches Western comic book size. They aim to publish by May 1st, 2025, with shipping to be completed just in time for the release of Aerotech #1, the comic book, in July of 2025. This is the first of an anthology series planned by SHP. Anyway, all print books are going to include a digital edition. All digital editions are DRM free. And what we have is the available awards. You can go to the next swing here, Leo.
It's fine. You can show it. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So first, if you just want to give them $1, you're going to go ahead and get a free digital version of Woodstake, which is another SHP comic that is a horror comic that I actually went ahead and went on their website, was looking at, checked it out. It's really good. You can get either the digital or print basic Tales from Aerotech for either $15 or $25. If you get the print, you also get the digital for the $25. There's also the WoW catch-up bundle that has the 4, you can get them, these are print and digital of the comics coming from there. There is a retailer bundle for $70. There is the comic bundle print. It's got everything in it from all of the different books for $110. Then we have the limited edition signed book plate edition there. The artwork is to be determined still. You'll get everything in that for $200. And for the premium bundle for $500, you get everything, and you get to appear in the 5th issue of the comic itself.
Wow.
All right. Yes.
Be a sex bot.
You can be a sex bot. You can be an owner of a sex bot. You can be screwed, blued, tattooed, dead. You can be whatever you want. They will draw you in there. You will.
Cool.
You will be in a sex bot comic if you are willing to spend $500, and you get all the extras as well. So what we have for add-ons are digital, you can go ahead, Leo, digital and physical editions of the past books, and these are what are going to be released for the books themselves that follow a storyline, and then this, what we're going is like an anthology of tales outside of this specific world, but following within it. Next, you can also get the signed limited edition of Aerotech #1 retro cover by Jeffrey K. and signed foil editions of Aerotech #1 executive edition and the Sex 6000. Next, there's also a short film called Technical Support, which you can catch on YouTube if you'd like, or on this website. If you go to check out the Kickstarter, you can watch it. But here you can get the Blu-ray signed by Darren X Cape, or you can get that poster there signed by the entire cast and crew. Next, there are digital and physical editions of the SHP graphic novels Woodstake and Killing Machine. Like I said, I checked out Woodstake. It looks great. It's like vampires and Woodstock meet, and just super fun. Next, there are
Incredible
3 pieces of signed. There are 3 pieces of signed original art by Jeffrey K. I could only show 2 of them because the other one was a little bit beyond the pale. for what we actually want to put on the show.
Too
I didn't want to
spicy?
cover that much of it. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't want to cover up that much of it. You know what I mean? So, but these are bots, so they're kind of okay. But you can get, there's one more of these. Each of those are by Jeffrey K. They are signed original art. They are $50 a piece. You can also get a Jack Purcell pen and ink commission for $125. You name what you want to be, Jack Purcell does it for you. And this is, by the way, also, this is for $200. You can get the original artboard for pages 2 and 3 of The Adventures of Toxic Masculinity Man and Sexy Woman for $200.
cool.
Yeah, so what they have for stretch goals so far, at 150 backers, they decided to upgrade the book. They wanted to make it special, so they're staying tuned. So stay tuned for the details, but they will also give everyone a PDF of the story that started everything, and is a source for the film, and that is the Sex 6000 is going to be coming out for people. I happen to be the 150th backer because I saw it was at 149. So it's like, well, we got to pop that
Boom.
stretch goal. We got to get that stretch goal going. So the next one is set at $7,500, and they're pretty damn close to that right now, like under 200, I think, away. They're going to add more content. Any great indie creator has a unique and fascinating working process, so they're going to take a peek behind the curtain. There's going to add another 16 pages of bonus content, including never-before-seen goodies from the greatest assembly of indie artists this year. So that's what I'm pimping this week is check out Aerotech. Aerotech. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but watch the little film, check out the thing. It's fun. You know, I mean, like, dirty, yes, and Jack Purcell.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, I have to go back. Yes, it is Jack Purcell, and if you want something by him, Jar, go ahead and pay $125 and he'll do you a commission and you can get some comic books. So that's what I'm pimping for you this week. What I want to bring up next is if you pull up the Defense or the New Pain Pro, Leo.
Mr. Stoic.
Mr. Leopold, you are muted.
Yep. Working on it. Hold on.
Sorry,
Okay.
you were looking thoughtfully off in the background. I was like, just Stoic photo.
All right. So I brought this up before. I'm letting you know that the Defense is going to be up until March 4th at 11:01 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's created by Keith Champagne with layouts by Leo Rodriguez and colors by Rich Stanke. It's intended for readers that enjoy shows like Better Call Saul, Goliath, The Lincoln Lawyer, comic books like She-Hulk, Gotham Central. What we have here for the covers are Keith Champagne and Seth Hurt, Neil Edwards and Moose Bonham, Rax Morales and Richard Stanke, and Neil Edwards and Cam Smith, with Richard Stanke. The pledges for this one run from $5 to $500, including digital, print, variant covers, bundles, jigsaw puzzles, original art, autographs, remarks, and a Masters of the Universe Revolutions signed and remarked drawing of Skeletor trade paperback by inker Keith Champagne. There are only 5 copies in stock, and I have one of them. So don't miss out on that, He-Man fans. But what I'm pulling this up for is go to the next picture, Leo. There is also New Pain Productions backer kit project going on, and if you back both of them, the Defense #1 and Daybreak the Complete Series, which is only up for another couple of days here, folks, you can get in on the combination pledge, which you get the official handbook, you get Jump #1, Uncovered #1, and the official handbook of the New Pain universe, all for free. Go ahead. The Daybreak next, the Complete Series is going to be on backer kit until February 27th at 2 p.m. It has reached goal, dropped down a little bit, reached goal, dropped down a little bit. So if you want to go ahead and grab yourself a t-shirt, a puzzle, some of the books you can also get for $500. You can get the Patrick O'Leaf and Keith Champagne 11 by 17 black and white original art variant cover for Daybreak number 4, which includes everything else on top of that. You can get the $700 Doug Mankey and Keith Champagne 11 by 17 black and white. Oh, you can go on to this one too. OA variant cover for Daybreak number 4 includes print and digital versions as well. And the last one there is for $125, the interior page from issue number 3 by Toshif and Keith Champagne. One of the rare pieces of analog artwork. They did a lot of this in digital. So go ahead, just make sure they've crossed the border. They've got it going. Throw down some cash, get a little bit on the defense, get a little bit on Daybreak. Make sure they both go through and grab yourself some free artwork. We love Keith Champagne. We love New Pain Productions. Go out and help a guy out. It's a great series. Well, they're both great series and just some great artwork and great storytelling there for you. And last but not, yes.
No, I was just going to ask, do we also get like a 11 by 17 of Keith Cat?
Keith Cat?
No. Keith Cat, bottom right, Keith Cat.
Yeah, no, but I'm going to suggest that to him now. Like, I think that, like, next time I order anything from me, like, yes, I would like you to draw Keith Cat for me. I would like a Keith Cat. You going to remark something? I would like it remarked as Keith Cat.
Keith Cat.
Keith Cat. Keith Cat. You know, he's the 12th most handsome comic book writer and inker out there. I believe is what he says. All right, and
still pretty good. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, last but not least, Axel's Infernal. I keep pushing you guys on this one, but it's awesome. It is not live yet. We are trying to get people to get signed up for this. It is written by celebrated comics pro D.G. Chichester from Daredevil, Clive Barker's Hellraiser, with art by Carl Waller, who did Shadowrun and Wolverine. You can just kind of run through the pictures on this one. Leo, there's only a couple. The Underworld Transportation Authority is roaring back onto pages and screens with a hot delivery just for comics readers. Sign up to get notified when Axel's Infernal 2 is ready to launch. Be the first to know about the first 48-hour early bird discounts on comic stickers, behind-the-scenes scripts, and more. Hijacked into trucking for the UTA, Percy delivers damnation across the dimensions. Plagues, monstrosities, boiling pitch, the works. But this is more than just a devil of a job. It's your chance to bring a new comic to life. I have the first. I love this. Dan brings in some serious Dante feels with Percy, Persephone, and her driver, Virgil, going through hell, delivering things. And maybe you get a little bit of Inferno going on. It's going to be a wickedly illustrated, full-cover, 24-page comic book printed on 80-pound cover stock with 80-pound gloss text paper. The second issue in a 5-issue miniseries, and each comic will be individually bagged, boarded, and shipped in Gemini mailers for you. So please go check that out. We're going to be having Dan on. When are we having Dan on? Dan is going to be on the 22nd of April, and he's planning on doing some giveaways when he's on here for that. So sign up, get ready, see when it's coming out. One of these days I'm going to bring out my copy of SU1 to show everybody and just be like, holy shit, look what I got. This is great. And go sponsor people. Help pledge to the comics that you love. Give to the creators, because things are looking like they're going to get really, really tough in the near future. So creators are going to need your support a lot more than ever.
Well said.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into politics, but Kickstarter and the creator-owned things are going to be a big part of the push that we have going forward to keep people being able to tell their stories. So help them. Don't just fall back on things. Don't just, it's going to be, no. Go for the quality, the people that are putting their heart and soul in it. Go for that. Give the people who want to give you the best product that they can. Like this guy over here, who happens to do a really good job too, who's also going to be on the show.
Oh, Leo? Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's it for my crowdfunding for tonight. Go get some sex robots. Go help out New Pain Pro. Get Daybreak, the defense, and sign up and learn about when Axel's Infernal number 2 is going to be coming out.
Okay.
And all of those, I'm sure, have a pledge that's cheaper than a dozen eggs.
Indeed.
Probably at this point.
All right.
Go get
you
some.
Want to wrap it all up?
Drew, anything else?
Oh,
Who do we,
yeah.
who do we got next week?
Oh, right. I'll take the hat off. Yeah. So basically, everybody, we've got a lot of great things coming up. We had two great guests coming up on Saturday. We're going to have the awesome artist John McCree come on as our latest international guest. We're going to be talking to him about some of his work. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's going to be happening 1:00 this Saturday. And then next week, we have iconic inker Mark Morales is going to be dropping by. We're going to talk about some of his great highlights of his career, things that rhyme with Schmeekit invasion and Schmore, secret things. But yeah, we have a lot of good stuff coming up. And that's just the ones we have coming up this week. But as Leo posted, we have so many great guests this month. So if you're not tuned to our YouTube channel, please subscribe because you don't want to miss these.
Yeah. Even the artist from Dark Patterns is coming up also.
Writer.
Yeah.
Oh, writer. Sorry. My bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm just like, I have wine. Yeah. I'm drinking
Right.
with Radhusker. It's hard to keep up.
Right. All right. Leo, you want to sign us off?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know how to find me, but more importantly, follow these awesome people. And I saw you there, Drew. I saw you there.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting my turn. Thank you. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, follow these awesome people. A lot of information in the show notes up above or down below. But we will kick it over to Carrie.
Hey, everybody. Find me here with these wonderful gents and extra people here and there every Tuesday, and now sometimes Saturdays, occasionally on a Wednesday. It depends on what else going on. Thank you. We love you. So this Saturday, John McCrea, there will be something happening on Sunday. I'm over at the Light Network as well. If you look at my name there, you can look me up on YouTube. You can look me up on YouTube. You also find me on Facebook is a better place where all of my links are at. On the Light Network, we have Two of the Terrible coming up. Tom Dog will be with us, I hope, this Monday for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I also have coming up this month. Wow, I had wine, yes. On March 16th, Morgan Sylvia is going to be coming on for one of my Clutch of Personality shows. So we just have a lot of shit going on. Go check out my stuff. It's super fun. I get guests and have fun people, and some of them I get from Mr. Steve Van Samson.
Speaking of Steve,
what a segue.
Some of them are Steve Van Samson.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on again. It's always fun to hang out with you guys on Splash Pages. And if you want to hang out with me in real life, a really great place to do that would be this coming Saturday. I'm doing an event called Dark Reads, and that is actually at the Rhode Island College Student Union building at the Rhode Island College. It's put on by Horror Depot, and the Horror Depot, not just one of the Horror Depots, the actual Horror Depot. And there's going to be a ton of authors, horror and otherwise. And one of them is me. So come check us out and buy books. And if you so choose, because I've written some of those. And when I'm not writing books and talking about them, I also host the Retro Redoctopus Cephala podcast right here on the Dorkening Network. We talk about everything nostalgia, all sorts of fun stuff. And in a couple of weeks, we even are going to have your own Drew Mallow on to talk about some Ghostbuster cartoons, and it's going to be really, really fun. So definitely look out for that. And yeah, that's all I got to say tonight. Thanks again for having me on. It's fun.
Yeah. Just really old school. Where are you going for that con? I'm pretty sure I went to a computer convention like in the 90s there. Like that's a good spot, you know. It's,
cool.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this live on show. I will come on Retro. Give me some dates and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
And we'll throw it over to Tom Dog.
All righty.
Dog!
You can find me at TomRK69 on my own YouTube channel. That's the Brill Pro channel. I got some really busy stuff. I'm thinking about doing a show tomorrow. I haven't debated it yet because I just picked up some material that will be perfect for that. Because on Thursday, we for you Pokemon fans out there, we got our special Pokemon episode. Because Pokemon Day is on Thursday, where the official day of Channel X is going to be on, and then on the weekend, and then on Friday and Saturday, I got the OG Wrestling Prime and Wrestling Prime Elite, and we're going to have a lot of stuff. And next week on Channel X, we're doing a whole month devoted to Nintendo because we're preparing for the big reaction reveal of the Switch 2. So it's going to be a build up for that. So we're going to have some really cool stuff. So I'm devoting the whole entire month to Nintendo, and so there's only one place to look at all that, and that is hug that subscribe button.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I hear there's going to be a new Mario game this year also.
Yes.
Does he wear green or blue?
Thank you, Carrie. No, she made my night. I'm picking up what she's putting down. Mario wears green in the original Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah.
You think he doesn't. You think it's blue and red, but it's not. And if you were a Retroid and hung out in the Retroid Octopus group, you would know this. Carrie knows.
You would have known.
Mr. Drew.
Hello, everyone. It is time for the show to end. Yes, that is very much true. That would be my oath. When I'm not trying to think of wonderful ways to dispose of these nerdy people, you can find me on Facebook, Ghostbusterman 1984, on Instagram. I'm also on Blue Sky, which has absolutely nothing to do with Leo's plugging of Blue Sky. It was my own decision. I'm generally busy, and I don't know how I have time for any of it, so I'm exhausted. And I appreciate everybody who coming on. Thank you so much, and especially everyone who came onto the show. And hats, let them protect you. I'm good.
With that, we'll catch you later. Bye.
Night, everybody.
Night.
Bye, guys.